All of our bar and brewery partners are at tomanddanwateringholes.com.
Man, the list, it grows every day.
Yeah, we just got a brand new one.
Wops Hops Brewing Company, Sanford's first microbrewery offering amazing beers and food. So you can check out Wops Hops.
It is across the street from our AirT&D.
You literally could roll a soccer ball to it.
Yeah. I'm not joking. You can throw a ball over and hit Wops Hops from our porch.
I was going to say you could throw a rock at it, but I don't want anybody doing that. That's why I said you could roll a soccer ball. But a la carte, Toll Road Brewing, Hourglass. You know those guys. We're working with them. Got a beer coming out soon.
2 locations, Longwood and Orlando.
Cafe Da Vinci, the best venue in DeLand. I love that place. Salty Sisters, we were just there. That's Tiffany's bar and her sister Elise. Go there. Get Norm swore to me that burger at Salty Sisters is one of the best she's ever had.
The smash burger. Yeah.
Speaking of burgers, because these guys don't fight, and they're all in here, Johnny's. When's the last time you went to Johnny's and had a big, gigantic mega burger?
Johnny's is always doing fun stuff, events, brunches. If you haven't been to Johnny's in a while, Daniel's right.
The beer shack's there, $5 crabs.
Yeah, best burger in town.
They were our first advertiser, too, man.
Yeah,
Johnny was our very first advertiser. Been with us since day one of this show.
It's Johnnyville, so you have to check out Johnny's. Everybody has our pint glasses, by the way.
Yep.
So when you're there, grab a free pint glass.
You're over at Tuffy's checking out a show, grab a pint glass. You're over at Celery City Craft right next to West End Trading Company.
Yeah.
Some pint glasses there. Check out Elstone. Maybe you want to get some delicious beer. Say hi to Big Rick. Grab some pizza.
Yeah. They have delicious food inside. All of our watering hole partners we go to, our BDMs go to all the time. They're all great places, and all of them have some sort of giveaway. If you mention Tom and Dan, that helps us too.
It really does. You got to say you know us. You got to say like, hey, Tom and Dan told me there's free stuff here.
Yeah. And so check them out at tomanddanwateringholes.com. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's plug some stuff.
Okay, I know that Brendan's belly flop competition is this weekend.
Is he calling it that? Is he calling it Brendan's belly flop competition? Because I think he should.
No,
I kind of like the alliteration on that. Brendan's belly flop.
And it's right here in Baldwin, right?
Yeah, it's Bungalower. It's Brendan O'Connor. It's our friends from Cholo Dogs. It's Jordan, his team. And they're getting out there with Tactical Brewing, and they're doing a little belly flop contest. And I think it's the second annual. Yeah, and of course there will be Cholo Dogs. Of course there will be delicious handmade beer courtesy of Tactical Brewing. And Bungalow will be out there. Bungalower Buddies will be out there. It's going to be a damn fine time.
Yep. Also, if you want to join our texting service, just text 844-866-6326. Text BDM, just those 3 letters.
Yep. It'll say like, hey, do you want to get the occasional text message? And you just say yes.
Yep, and then once you're in, then you could opt out anytime, but you'll get the text from new merch, new events.
We don't abuse it. We do not abuse it. We use it so little that it's very hard to justify the cost.
Most people are like, "Are you still doing it?" We're like, "We're still doing it. We just don't send that much."
We don't want to be a bother. You know, like some of your
every day is too much.
Well, some of those
calm down.
The medical marijuana guys, because we don't have one linked to us right now. Believe me, if we did, I wouldn't be talking about this because at that point, everything they do is awesome because they're a client. But if they're not a client, I'll just say, True Leave, your texting was out of control. I don't need to wake to True Leave every morning with a new deal.
It was multiple times a day. I had to opt out.
It's too much. I opted out. So anyway, we try to keep.
You can't do one every day. That's egregious.
It's too much.
Like once
we should though. But like with bizarre stuff, right?
Just everything like random.
Like at 11 p.m. we'll be like, hey, you up?
What do you want? Why are you calling in the middle of us talking about stuff?
Excuse me?
Yeah, what do you want? Why are you calling right now? You're interrupting the show.
I'm Man Daddy, that's why.
Yeah, Man Daddy.
You were supposed to call us tomorrow, but that's fine.
You're supposed to call us tomorrow, Man Daddy. What's
I'm sure
up,
that
buddy?
was a miscommunication on Dom's
What?
end.
No, Dom told me today.
Oh, my God.
That's typical Dom.
If we'd have known, first of all, I had no idea Man Daddy was calling us. Second of all, if I'd have known, I'd had Man Daddy come in because he's a friend of the show and I like seeing his face. Second of all, Dom said yesterday or tomorrow, and now Man Daddy's calling us out of the blue, and then I yelled at you, and it's very rude, and I apologize.
It's okay. I'm used to having people be rude at me.
Yeah, but it's not fair because I love you, and it's not fair for me to be rude with somebody. This is one of my oldest entertainment Orlando buddies. Did you guys know that?
Well, you've known Man Daddy for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, God, what is
25 years, I'd say.
At least.
Because I've been broadcasting. We figured it out. And by the way, this is Man Daddy from the super metal band, and people get mad when I say that, so I'm going to say it more. From the super metal band, Gargamel, the best metal band you'll ever hear, and there's no other better metal band than Gargamel. And metal bands bands hate that.
Except for Trivium. Trivium last year was better than us, so we're just one behind Trivium.
One behind. We've always, all of us in the world have always just been one behind Trivium. But yeah, so I have known you since I was broadcasting at Real. I've done 27 years as of this year, so I've had to have known Man Daddy for 25 years. At least 20. But what's going on, man? How you doing?
Just enjoying this weather more than anything right now. This is just a gorgeous day out.
It really, really is. It's a beautiful day. And what were you going to say, Tom? You look
No.
like
Every time it's nice outside,
we're working.
The only thing I could think of is it's going to get worse.
Wow.
Like I never think this is going to last. I know, but it's true, right? Like it's not going to last like this.
I just want to, refresh everyone that I'm not the negative one here.
Yeah, it's going to
Good God, man.
Yeah, we get a little bit of this, and we know that this isn't real, and this is just a little. It's like a taste of what it could be, but we've ruined it, so it'll never be like this. We're sure.
It's the calm before the storm, basically.
It really is.
Speaking of storms, you're calling in because you're playing the hurricane party this year.
There it is. Yeah. So how long?
The big old hurricane party that's May 27th at West End, downtown Sanford. 5 big stages, 30 bands. It's a whole big shindig.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that. How many times have you guys played the hurricane party?
This will be like our 6th time or 7th time, I think. We were supposed to play last year, but COVID got our drummer, and so we weren't able to play last year. So we'll be playing this year inside, the main stage inside, right before Supervillains play outside.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. So everybody come inside, see some Gargamel, and then we'll all push outside and close it down. I love it. How long has Gargamel been a band at this point?
This is our 30-year anniversary this year.
God,
that's
30 years.
Man. Yeah, that is crazy.
30 years.
It is so crazy, and like, has the lineup changed to a point where like it has, but it sort of hasn't, right?
The current lineup, the drummer is the newest member. He's been in the band for about 3 years ago. So he came in right before COVID came. So it was a weird time to start in the band because we didn't really get to play as much. But the bassist has been in it for 27 years or so, and the keyboardist has been in it since pretty much the beginning. We're on our 3rd guitarist. So I'm actually the only real original member at this point. Because originally we had Skyjack on guitar, and he's been gone forever, and Matt Lapham on bass, and Webb on drums. And we actually didn't have a keyboardist when we first started. Servo is our first keyboardist, so he didn't start until the band was around about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the things that would set you guys so far apart is that you became, it was like when we go to see you play a show, and again, you can go see him at the Hurricane Party, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But then you started adding so many different little elements to your show, whether it be drops or sound effects or like remixing things or the ability to just like, I don't know, give it more depth. Was that something that you guys had always wanted to do before you got Servo, or no?
It just kind of grew that way, really. We kind of tricked Servo to be in the band because we were playing a show at JJ Whispers for Drew Garabo, and we told him that we just wanted him to be on stage with us to play Simpsons samples. But I knew him because I was in a band with him previously called Mood Skin. It was originally called Talion. And so I knew that he was itching to get on stage. Yeah. And so I knew by getting him on a big stage, I knew it was going to be a packed house, and having him come with us that eventually be like, hey, I got some ideas for the band. And so we kind of just tricked him into being a Gargamelian.
Yeah, and then you guys, then it added this layer to the band where the band became like sort of this, and hopefully this is an uber compliment, but at the time when I started listening to you, I was like, oh my God, these are the guys that enjoy fusion. These are the guys that enjoy jazz and funk and hip hop, and they're like Faith No More, and they use samples, and and the lead singer can sing beautifully, but he can also rap and has great rhythm. So like it was like you guys were the Orlando Faith No More to me. So like
that is a huge compliment.
Well, when me and my wife talk about bands that we kind of like fell in love around, we both had a love, and she had been to shows and I had been to shows without, being together. We had both gone and seen you guys because of that crazy stage show that you have. Again, you can see them at the Hurricane Party. Does it ever get tiring having to do that? Because you guys are a wild band.
No, it's getting weirder. I mean, with the stuff we're writing right now, we've got hopefully we'll be playing some new material at the Hurricane Party. Nice. But we have 2 new songs that are just getting way fusiony and more not fusiony, but more proggy. Okay. And so we're going to do these 2 new songs that are more proggy, and then we're going to do a bunch of songs that are going to be a lot simpler and stuff like that. So we're always just trying to do new stuff. Especially when we having a new member, having a new drummer, and he's bringing a lot of stuff to it and having us really change up how we look at stuff. So that's been fun.
That's awesome, man.
Man, Daddy, I make the analogy to even this podcast or other things that have been around long enough where you can really decide how long you want to go, right? Because I feel like a small, a band is like a small business in the fact that it has to support itself and it's in control of its own destiny. So after 30 years, you've got it down to, we can continue to do Gargamel for as long as I want to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as we can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
So do you look at how long it could go? Like, you start looking at your own, I guess, like, well, how long can I continue to sing and then continue to do this? You're like, well, I probably got another 15, 20 years. I mean, how long do you think you can keep it going?
It's just as long as we enjoy doing it and people show up to see us do it. I mean, that's basically it.
I think it should go beyond enjoyment because follow me.
Do it till you hate it.
Yeah, because it's now it gets to a point where you're like, well, I have to keep going just to see how far I can go. Like even in 10 years, you're like, well, I got to make it to 50, even though if I hate it.
I mean, your name is Mandaddy, for Christ's sake. I do feel like you have to continue until you die. It's just you have to.
Like if me and Daniel, we make it another 15 years, 20 years.
God, I don't think so.
At that point, even if we hate it, if we hate every second of it.
I hate it now. Why do you think I was yelling at Chuck when he called? I'm so mad.
Let's keep going to see what happens. You can't just stop it. It's been too long. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you have to test yourself, I mean, you got to get to the point where it goes past enjoyment to just a challenge.
Yeah. Because then it's like, well, this is my life's work. 50 years of Gargamel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make it to some absurd number, and then even that, after 50...
And then you got to let AI take over and just keep doing it.
Well, you got to go until you die on stage, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. Because
it's happened to a number of good singers have died on stage, so why not take it to that level?
That's the ultimate way to do it, right? Anyways, sorry, man.
The fact that I can still sing the way I do and the way I scream the way I do, and I'm actually feel like I'm screaming now better than I ever have, so it's kind of fun.
That's what do you think? Because we've seen singers.
Well, he takes it really seriously, and anybody that's ever if you haven't seen Gargamel, you will. It's amazing. You will hear Mandaddy sing, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, that's so pretty!" And then you will see him do some things with his voice, so you'll be like, "Oh my God, that is terrifying."
Is that just genetic, or is that some regiment that you have with your voice?
It's actually a weird combination of the fact that my mother was a vocal coach, and so, but she never trained me. She was very adamant about not being involved with training me for some reason, but I was always around it, and so she put a fear of God into me when it comes to hurting your voice and how to just basically take care of it. And on top of that, when I was 19, I had cancer and had radiation therapy on my throat. And so I still think to this day that it gave me some sort of gamma power and helped my throat be
radiation
a little more...
throat. You need that, Tom.
Throat.
Yeah, isn't that a great story?
Wow.
I remember now
you had
Mandaddy,
throat cancer at 19?
I remember when you used to wear the device around your neck, right? The
Mort.
Yeah, Mort. He had a
I still have them. I don't wear them, but I still have them.
Yeah, it was well, I'll let you tell Tom what Mort was.
Mort was my Infusa port, which is a port that goes under the skin, that goes straight into my heart. And so when I'd go in for chemotherapy, instead of having to get a bunch of needles in my arm, they just take one needle into my chest, and they could keep that in for 3-4 days at a time. And so when I had it taken out, I told them I wanted to keep it, and so I kept it, and I had it as a necklace that I wore all the time.
Yeah, I would never see him without having that on his necklace. Again, one of the things that I think added to the legend that is Gargamel.
Imagine, Daddy, imagine telling your cancer doctor that after he gave you throat radiation, that you're like, hey, this guy is going to go on to not only do voiceover work for a lifetime, sing for a band for 30 years. You'd be like, that's a lie. That'll never happen.
but also in a weird way.
He'll be able to talk, but sing for 30 years is a stretch.
But I want to also sprinkle aggressively on that. It's not like he just goes up there and he's singing he's singing
the whisper song.
He's screaming. He's going up there and he's doing, he's manipulating his voice and it's sideways, up and down, to the left, to the right, all over the place, and then like that. He can do animal noises.
What was that sound?
That was him.
Little yappy dog.
Yeah, so
don't do that. The cancer's back.
It's gone to his brain.
Yeah, let's plug one more time. The Hurricane Party is when, Sam?
Yep.
Saturday, May 27th.
Yep, 30 bands, 5 stages. You got Gargamel, you got the Expendables, you got supervillains playing 2 sets, Suicide Machines, Ballyhoo, Horizon, Flagman, Control Vis, Shabooms, Wolfface, just a ton of bands.
It's a great list. Man, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I thought you were a telemarketer. I was gonna do the old Dan gets them good. I do the same shtick I've done for 30 years. So
there you go.
But yeah, thanks for calling, man. We love you and good luck with the show. We can't wait to see you.
All right, thank you very much. Let me know. I'd love to come in and see your beautiful faces as well.
Yeah, cool. We'll do it, man. See ya.
Definitely. All right, thank you all very much, man. Have a great evening, day. Excuse me. Enjoy the weather.
Bye. That is Mandaddy live from his.
I'm glad that worked
out. His kitchen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I yelled at him.
No,
I felt really embarrassed because he's a friend of mine.
We did not know.
I don't like to yell at a friend of mine. Then he's like, "Oh, this guy's being a d-head. He's giving me the shtick," and I was.
So, Sam.
Expect more of those calls from other bands from the Hurricane Party because Dom will text me at midnight.
I kind of like it. I like that they just call
the wrong day.
I like that Dom does not respect your system, but he's like, I'm doing what I want. I'm just going to have him call in.
Yeah.
And I'll just step all over him. I like that.
So, Sam,
yes,
you were
right back in it, right back from vacation.
Yep, you were on vacation last week.
Good God, man. Got thrown into a random interview.
You went to Sedona, so tell us about it. I know you went golfing the first. I was following your pictures, like a lot of us on social media.
I very much like that they went to another golf capital. Like one that like you could even arguably say is more beautiful, and went right for it. Like I like that.
But you've never played golf before.
That's like going to Hawaii and going to like literally Waimea Bay. And taking a surfboard and going, we're doing that. I like that.
Yeah.
Nah, we just we wanted to do different stuff that we'd never done before. And our buddy Tommy Gilligan, he was telling us how great the courses are out there. So we're like, hey, while we're there, let's get a good game in before we check into our Airbnb. So we did that.
It makes me mad that
your whole vacation.
No. The courses in Arizona, like the grass seems greener.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
it's
why?
A desert.
It's a desert. Like we've been to courses here in Florida that the grass is brown. And
not the one we were at when we were out at Arnold Palmer. That looked like Sedona grass. That was Sedona green grass.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a $100 million production or whatever the hell that.
Well, you're not going to get the same. She was on a really beautiful course. She wasn't on like Dubs Drag.
I know.
Raccoon peeing in the bushes.
But it's even a Dubs or even the cheapest golf course in Florida should have green grass at all times.
No, it's expensive to do that.
Anyway,
and they're like living in a drought right now. I was surprised about that too because most of like people's yards there was no grass. It was just dirt.
Oh my God! You remember that song? I'm living in a box. I'm living in a cardboard box. I don't know why I thought
No, I don't know that.
Sorry.
There are rules in Arizona about I think
watering.
You have to pay extra to even have sod. Like you mostly, yeah. Well,
That's
just
un-American.
just because of the irrigation,
upkeep, yeah.
and it's too much water.
In our Airbnb, our lady was very much a hippie kind of lady, and she did you could book her to do yoga or meditation classes at the Airbnb that she was renting you, which we did not do. But she had little signs all over her house of hey, if you can, please do not flush every time if you don't have to. Because they were trying to save water.
Gosh, when it's yellow, let it mellow.
Yeah.
This lady's my wife does it. It's disgusting. Flush it away.
They have big
poo-poo.
water problems.
Yeah.
Constant.
No, I don't do two deuces on two. You guys ever
double deuce?
No, I've never double deuce.
No,
I will never do that.
No,
I am above that. I'm a rich person now. I cannot do that. No, I will flush. No, my wife does that. I hate it.
They're actually they're looking at their water consumption and how much water they have left, and they're not enough. They're seriously, they're in this many years, not enough.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know what to do. So after you guys played golf, and that was the first day,
and
right?
Play golf is a loose term.
No,
I like what you did. We're not golfers.
I like what you did because you eased yourself into the. I think that's brilliant to come in there. You're outside, have a couple drinks, you're enjoying.
We had the best weather.
What was the temp?
Too, by the way, I think the high was 75.
So it's 75 while you're golfing. That's great, dude.
Did you
probably less than that at that point?
Did you play all 18?
No, we only did 9 because we wanted to check into our Airbnb.
Yeah, 18 is too much. 9 is perfect,
especially since you're walking it, which is another thing.
We didn't have a golf cart.
Yeah. That I've never done golf without a golf cart.
You used to have to do that when I took golf lessons and was playing a lot. That's the way you'd play, and that's the way you learned. I mean, I remember when I was playing with friends, we'd carry our clubs. We didn't even have the little. I mean, I sound like a dumb old man now. We usually carry
but that's miserable.
We didn't even have that. Well, that's how you learn, though. You put it on your back, and you walk to where your ball is, and you set your clubs down, and you get what you're going to hit with. And
I've always been way too drunk to walk.
Too drunk to walk, but you could drive?
I was a kid.
Okay.
I was playing golf at 16.
I could drive better drunk than walk drunk.
I believe Mo would tell you not to say that on air.
I'm going to double down on this and agree with him and
focus more?
I drive better drunk than I walk drunk too.
If you put me
the car works better than my leg.
Well, if you had me drive down the street or walk down the street and then had a group of people decide if I was drunk or not, they'd pick the walking. They'd be like, that guy's drunk. But driving,
how
they
far
might
do I
think
have to
that
go?
when you're not drunk.
How far do I have to go?
You do mad stomp around.
How far am I going drunk?
I mean, you just have to, walking down the sidewalk.
Didn't you walk home from downtown once?
I did. And then I was too drunk to even get in the cop's car. He just let me stand in the rain.
So, what was next on the trip after the golf?
I have to go back and look at everything because we did something every day.
Let me ask you a personal question. Are you like little Danny, where you get there, you fly in, you hit the course, couple beers, you get to your Airbnb, immediately you got to bang one out?
I don't think we did it immediately.
God, I always have to do that. It's like being a cruise. When we get on the cruise ship, as soon as we get to a room, gotta bang one out. Yeah, we're on vacation. It's like how I start my vacation. It's like the way I start it is by doing that. I know that's a little vulgar, and I apologize.
With the pre-kids, though, it has to be. When I go on vacation, I don't bang at all.
At all?
Not really. No. I mean,
you got to send her to the kids club.
Well, yeah.
Bye. You're off to the kids club.
We lost our texting number.
No, don't talk about it.
Okay, we did.
Okay.
So our texting number.
Now, everybody that's enrolled in it, still enrolled.
Don't unenroll.
Yeah. No, you're good.
You're good. You're in there.
You're in there.
You're the original.
How many?
6,000.
I don't know how many.
Whatever. It's a lot.
So you guys are good. It's just we can now no longer use our show number 844-866-6326.
Which I'm actually, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I'm really trying to start looking at things in a more positive way. And so, we lost our texting number because the FCC has this rule where if you mention anything that is drug related, that it can get flagged, and then they'll...
It's not medicine.
I agree. Well, it's just numbers.
And
we didn't even say marijuana.
We didn't say marijuana.
Weed.
We didn't say pot.
We sent out...
I'm upset about this because this is BS.
We sent out a text that's like when we were selling, we released our grinder and our
420
train.
merch.
Yeah,
that's what we called it.
And then
because that's a date.
Yeah, 420 merch got released, and that's all it said. I think 420 merch.
Yeah,
did it say grinder or thing? Check your text messages.
I didn't opt in.
You didn't subscribe.
Yeah, I didn't subscribe.
Anyway,
no, I did. But I did. I don't get the messages.
So then all of a sudden our texting
It did
service,
say Grindr and Trey, but
Okay.
Grindr, who cares?
Grindr
not
could
a-
be. That's a
that
gay
could be
man's
anything.
website. That's a gay man's website, and a Trey is a man's name. There you go.
Anyway, so
Trey
it's
on Grindr.
420 merch release, Grinders and Trays, and then they have now permanently, forever, banned our number from
Yeah.
texting anybody
Yeah.
ever in the future.
Yeah, they're like,
And
sorry.
I'm like, what?
And then I go, it's a one and done. They don't even give you a warning. And then apparently the guy told Tracy, like, nope, you're done. Sorry. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me schmooze this a little bit. How about I send you some? What if I gave you $1,000? Are you going to refund me for the number that we can't use now because I did pay for it to be a vanity number? Are you going to refund me that money?
Well, I guess in the rules, and apparently there's a lot of rules that
Too many rules.
that no one read. Like, I thought there was like the general rule, like don't
My man,
threaten someone's life.
We all know those.
Nudity.
If I had a
You
thought,
know?
do you think if I thought for a second that sending this we would have broken our texting service that I would have done it? Never in a million years, because we try to be too cautious with stuff.
Yeah, like I even looked at like 420. That's
It's just numbers.
It's just numbers.
Whether there's marijuana in the world or not, 420 is still a time.
And we all know
Yeah,
that.
it's a date.
But how can there be a rule against that? That the FCC
Also, yeah, it's so bizarre. Like, because again, it's not like it's a quote unquote national holiday, right?
Yeah.
It's just something that people came up
But
with.
Also,
for the
we're
date.
working with a medical marijuana company that operates within Florida. So what we're doing is above board. We're not saying, hey, if you see a drug dealer, buy his drugs, because drugs are good.
So-
remember, Tom and Dan says.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I first was told this, I did scream, I get a medical marijuana text
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes, but it never mentions anything about weed or anything.
just
And I'm
like-
like,
fairly
Yeah.
certain they had 420 specials, and they said it in their text message.
I just started going back
but
and
I
looking
opted
at
out of all of them, so I can't see it.
And then it was all just relief. You want relief today? You want and I guess they know the rules because none of it's directly.
Oh, I
says
just got one. It says super,
THC or
super
what.
day. I am following up again
Super day.
to see if 100K repay 115K over 23 Mo is still a good fit.
Well, that's a scam. That also makes me mad because
Here's one. I
I
just
get
got
10
this one.
scam texts a day. You can't fix that, FCC.
I just got this one. Good morning.
Just
This
420.
is Anitra. Can your business still benefit from an SB7A equipment capital or an LOC?
Oh, I get a million of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a scam text. They're trying to scam us, and that there's no way to stop that.
Let's see.
This
here.
is
But
the
you
dumbest thing
cancel
I've ever
our number for 420.
This is
Well, now we got to come up with a new number.
doo-doo.
You did come up with a
Doo-doo
brilliant
buns?
idea. So like 866
420, 420.
Oh, 420.
Yeah, 0420.
I'm looking through here to see. No, man. I don't think they say.
Yeah,
1-844-420-0420.
Yeah. I bet that's taken. There's a vanity number. But anyway, so we got to come up with a new texting number. And again, everybody who's already, and apparently they can
Yeah, don't opt
transfer.
out.
Because we asked the company, we're like, well, did we lose all our subscribers? And they're like, no, you could transfer it to the new number, so everybody's grandfathered in. And we're like, okay. But it's still not our show number, so that's
Right.
a weird thing.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And then it can
Can't
never
we just
be.
pay a fine? God damn it.
Yo, that's
no
what-
fine forever.
$420. And yeah, it is crazy that they just do that. But then I guess that they try to do what they feel like they need to do to shut it down, right?
But again, it's
How
not-
did a person find that? Were we reported?
No, it had to have been a bot, right? It just
That's pretty amazing that they were able to find that, right?
It must have been like in like a search, like to flag it or something.
And you
Yeah.
mean to tell me? Well, we can't be. I'm sure we wouldn't know, but I'm sure other people got flagged too. I mean, there's so much
Our
420.
first text was just an eggplant.
that's fine.
That should get flagged.
It should get flagged.
No, it's only
That's sexual in nature.
420. I guess it was so
That is
stupid.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude. That is absolutely crazy.
Also, it's crazy that they could write a law or some sort of rule based on slang. Because what if someone innocently? Because if you look at
Well,
the
if you said
actuality,
nugs,
it's
nugs.
Yeah, well, what if you just said happy
Buds.
420? Then you get canceled forever too?
Yeah.
Like if you said
What
happy,
if I said April 20th?
yeah, like
April
is
20th
it because-
deals. Yeah, you'd have been okay there. I bet you if you'd said like, "Hey, happy April 20th."
Yeah, because that's not in the...
It's not in marijuana culture. It's not the slang. It's not the vernacular.
But also, you program the bot for weed, skunk, 420 unit, every nerd dad. Who's doing this?
Skunk.
Perp.
This is some old man that works for the FCC, right? I don't know.
Yeah, what do we put in there? Put in there
Devil's
grass,
lettuce.
put in there...
Because it didn't come from the actual company.
Dope.
The texting service company that we pay, they want our business. We pay them monthly. So they were apologizing like, listen, it's beyond our control. It's the FCC who does this, which sounds like a lie. Because if I know the FCC, they don't do nothing.
Oh, here's what they said. It's the SHAFT standard. So SHAFT stands for sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco.
We didn't do any of those.
Well, I mean, I guess they're thinking that...
Tobacco and weed is not the same.
Yeah, but I guess it falls under there somehow.
The Shaft rule?
No, screw you, Shaft.
Yeah, the Shaft rule.
So nothing at all sexual? What if you said hammer hand?
You know, it's funny, after reading that...
we did an eggplant.
I mean, after reading that, like, we really didn't
No, we
do
didn't.
anything in there.
Well, can I appeal it? You can appeal murder.
I think, like, booze and tobacco or whatever, the alcohol and the tobacco, apparently marijuana's under that.
Okay.
Well,
but is it all slang about anything in those subject areas?
I mean, I guess.
What if we're like, hey, we're giving away koozies? Can we say koozies because you put your beer in it? Like,
no.
What are we talking about
What about,
here?
cold beer? Can you say cold beer?
No. God, I hate the government.
I hate it.
So you can't text like, hey, Tuffy's Bottle Shop and New Venue, the Tuffy's Music Box. If you go down there, they got 2-for-1 beers. You can't text that to people. Let's say if Dan St. Pierre wanted us to, he's like, hey, for this thing, I got 2-for-1 beers. I can't do that. How is that harming anybody? They opted in. Like
I guess we're going to read the rules, but I don't want to do that.
They're too big. I can't read them.
Too much.
Could I have ChatGPT read the rules and then type into ChatGPT, can we text this?
Yeah. We could definitely do that.
Did we mention the free beer at our event in the texting service?
I don't know.
I thought we said, like, there was events where, like, come have a beer with Tom and Dan. I think we said that.
I thought we've done that, but maybe that's why we got banned.
No. It was definitely at 420.
So they said that. They flagged it.
When we originally thought it was some sort of problem because then you have to sign up to register your number with the FCC. Yeah. I wonder if that's like right when we did it.
We should have never done that.
That's when it got flagged.
We should have had a rogue number.
Yeah, because
never sign up for the FCC. Never tell them you have a concealed weapons permit. Never say you have a marijuana recommendation. Just lie.
Like we had to do that through the company, though, right? Like, the company wouldn't support us unless we signed up our number.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, they sent me a number saying that they were going to eliminate our number unless we signed up. So then I went through the process of putting like our employee identification number, like our SunBiz, linking it to that so they know that we're a legitimate business within the state of Florida. Then I had to put in like our P.O. box. Then I had to put in our physical address. All this other stuff they made me fill out. And then they filled it out and then we do one text and they're like, broken, drugs.
They're like, banned forever. All right. So.
It does make me hate the FCC again. So still getting us from beyond the green. You want to do another email?
Sure.
Yeah, pop another email out there.
Let's see. First of all, I love you guys. I've been listening to you since day one and long before the bad old radio days. My question is for Dan. I know you have terrible back pain. Well, so do I. Been dental assisting for 20 years, and my L4, L5, L5 S1s are totally effed.
Is this a man?
No, it's a woman.
Okay. I was going to say, I've never heard of a male dental hygienist.
So now I finally have seen pain management and I'm going for a procedure.
Ooh, pain management.
Injections.
That's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
No. I don't want the injection pain management. I want the old school 2006 pain management.
Yeah, you want to wait in the parking lot for the building to open.
Yeah, and then when they open, you run inside.
And they just start writing scripts
and then
fast.
You come out with a jug.
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks away, so in the meantime, the problem I'm running into is that the doctor will not prescribe me any narcotic for pain because of the medical marijuana.
What?
So I call our bud
Why'd you
doc.
tell him you're on medical marijuana?
Yeah.
I just went through this. I just told you guys.
Don't tell anybody anything.
Shut up.
I called our bud doc to see if he knows any pain management doctors.
His name is Dr. Shanlate.
That will prescribe narcotic meds.
He's not the bud doc.
Even though that you use medical marijuana, their office doesn't have any insider referrals at all. So I'm just wondering if you have had anything to offer in regards to this.
Wait a minute. You called the bud doc to see if you could get pain pills?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, not from him.
Don't do that.
They're like, I'm the bud doc.
It's embarrassing.
That's the pill doc.
Don't call Dr. Shinlate.
He's all about buds.
And you're like, help. Don't do that.
So how are you managing your pain without the pain pills,
I'm not.
Dan?
I'm not.
So you just got to suffer with Dan, I guess.
You just got to suffer. Like, alcohol works, but I'm not doing that now either, because you can get into a cycle of just overly, you'll just drink yourself to death every afternoon.
It's better to stay off the pain pills, though. Like, that's
stay off the pain pills.
A slippery slope. There are ways around it, although harder ways, and that involve way more work, but those are the most healthy ways. Like, you get into the pain pills, and I just feel like now you got an addiction.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, you start taking pain pills for more than months, and you are addicted.
Yeah, and you're Band-Aiding it, right? You're not, like, really fixing anything. You're not, like, what can you... Like, for me, I've been trying to eat better. I'm still trying to figure out a way to exercise that can help my back, but right now I still can't really do the Peloton as much as I want to do. So I guess you just kind of do what you can and go from there. But I'm going to have to figure something out.
I think you just, like, do you just have to work out past the pain, or are you injuring it more?
I think I need to go to specific strength training for my back and core. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So and I'm actually investigating that now. I have one more appointment with this will be the third doctor I've gone to on Monday. But it's actually a friend of one of Maisie's dance compadres. And her mom is like worked in this field. She's like a lifer and like a little higher up the food chain as far as like knowing what to do. So I'm going to go. It's really just it's cool to actually just go and sit down with somebody and try to think of a new plan of attack, So she's going to help me out. So I'm looking forward to Monday.
Like, I know Mark Marrow, and he's shown you that stuff. Like, his back is destroyed. And,
it's fused. He had his fused together.
The only thing...
That's one of the processes they're actually thinking about for me.
The surgery?
Well, the fusing, like, of your back. I don't really know. Yeah. I don't want to speak on something I know nothing about.
Yeah. That's, I mean... God, we had a buddy that went through surgery that ended up being a nightmare, and they always tell you, like, hey, the surgery comes with risks, and they're like, yeah, but medical technology, they got it down pretty good, and then you see someone that that had a bunch of problems post surgery,
really scary,
and then you realize that, yeah, I guess that does make sense. They're cutting into your body and like, trying to repair things, and like that's not always going to go 100% right, and then like that
everybody heals differently.
Yeah, that leads into other complications, and then it's like, man, that started a avalanche of complications. I wonder if there was other ways to do it, But then you hear the people that like, oh, no surgery, do it any sort of natural way. But that you talk to a doctor, it's like sometimes you need surgery. Right. So it's hard because then there's like a big area of question in between where it probably could go both ways. And then you're like, well, which one is it? There's not every single doctor will say surgery, and not every single non-surgery doctor.
Because everybody's completely unique, right?
And they're like, well, there's a gray area, and that's what's so hard to make, because then you feel the worst. I know I would think this way. I make a decision to do the surgery, and then it leads me down a long road of complications, and then I'm like, man, could I have done this without the surgery?
Yeah. Well, right now, the way that I'm kind of living is just not the way I want to live. So I got to figure out a little bit of a different plan of attack for it, right? Because I was, up until, I'd say like 6 months ago, or maybe even a little longer, I was like hyperactive, right? Like always exercising, riding my bike every day, always doing something. And then I injured myself, and then it went to zero, right? And I liked the way I was living before better, where I was constantly riding my bike outside, walking around, doing stuff, and I just want to figure that out. So Monday, I will.
If you just went back to it, what could happen?
I tried that. I can't. The positioning, whatever it is that's going on back there, like when I get on, like riding my bike or walking for an extended period of time, there's something else wrong in there that it will seize up and get worse, and then I won't be able to walk. Then it gets to a point where it's like if I push through, like the day we did all the folding and everything like that, it was my back was just barking. But I'm like, just push through it. But then the following day, it was almost like I couldn't get out of bed. It's like if you go too far, you
do more damage.
You do more damage. Yeah. So I need a professional to look at it and then give me like maybe a little bit more real world idea of like no more injections, no more this. We're going to give you the option for something a little more severe, and then maybe we're going to go backwards and go like, hey, can we do all of this through like, I don't know, strength training or training your core or training your back in a certain way or through Pilates or through yoga. So I'm open to anything.
Yeah. It's so hard because you make a decision based on what people have told you in your research.
Yeah.
But there's also the exact opposite opinion if you look for that too.
Sure.
So then it's like, well, which ones are right? And then it's like, well, both are right.
Trial and error, buddy.
It's just it's kind of a luck thing. If it works for you, then you pick the right course of action, but it could be the wrong one. And there is no absolute. And that's frustrating to me. It's like there's no absolute answer.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta. So, like with this, and at least the way I'm doing it now, is I'm not really going to a doctor per se. I'm going to somebody in the field that knows a lot about it to formulate like a plan of attack, right? So instead of just going to another doctor and getting a third opinion or something else, I'm going, hey, you know this. You've been doing this for 20-some years or whatever. You're in the field. Yeah. Here's what I've done. Here's what I'm scared to do. And here's what I'm open to do. What would you do? You know? And I guess that's all I can do is use people's expertise and their knowledge to try and help me make a better decision.
See, and then there's the cliche that if you go to a surgeon, he's going to suggest surgery.
Right.
And then if you go to a chiropractor or
he's just going to want to use this little clicky machine.
He's going to be against surgery and suggest this is the answer. But then, like, that's the thing is like, well, which one is right?
And hard to find a good, honest doctor.
Okay, but they both are honest.
But I think I know.
Because they both have helped people and they both situations have worked. So they're telling the truth, but it's different for everybody. Right. And it can be the solution.
Well, I think I know.
But both can be
like, I do think I know. I mean, I have a gut feeling based on the amount of PT that I've done, based on the amount that I'll do it at home, because I'm pretty dedicated. They really do much, right? I'm doing bird dogs. I'm doing these stretches. I got my exercise ball out. I've got the handout that she gave me. I'm doing it all, right?
Yeah.
Do it for weeks. Still sort of feel the same. So I think that I need something a bit more severe.
Testosterone. Dude, I'm telling you. Get on the tee.
I've had a couple guys say that, our buddy Steve, he said, you get on that tee, you won't even feel your back.
Yeah, because your muscles will get bigger, and that will help a lot of it. And so it's like... So, I mean, that seems less risky than the surgery to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Although,
I'll see
would it give you hypochondria if you took it? Because then you look up side effects of tea, and then there are some...
I'm on pills right now, and I don't look at the side effects.
Okay, well, that's good.
Right, luckily, my hypochondria, whatever you want to call it, is irrational. So it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, yeah.
If it made sense, everything would scare me.
Yeah, but that's not the...
I'll ride a scooter with no helmet in a rainstorm, going faster than I should. Yeah. But I won't get on an airplane. Totally safe. Airplane, totally safe. Scooter in the rain, dumbest thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make any sense.
That's what's the crazy part of it.
Yeah. You got one more?
Yeah, let's do this little one before we get out of here. It says, hey all, I've been listening for years and years and have never been to an event. I made it out to the BDM appreciation at Salty Sisters for my first event, and it was a blast. I won the fridge and was totally stoked. I never win anything. I just wanted to thank you so very much for the great time and great atmosphere. My girlfriend has never listened to the show, but hears me talk about it all the time, and she had a freaking blast. It was our last hurrah before our twins are born, so this meant a lot to both of us. Anyways, thank you again for the time and the awesome fridge.
Don't you put 1 ounce of breast milk in that fridge. Not 1 ounce.
You know, I met a lot of people there. Like, this is my first event.
Yeah, it was a lot of first timers.
They were so sweet. I've never seen people. You know what I liked this time about our BDM appreciation more than anything is that this time and this is selfish, but this time we get to stand on the stage, elevated a little bit,
look
like
down
kings.
at you.
Yeah, and then and look down at you as you won your prize, and the look of pure. Just like, God, Dom and Dan are so awesome. Look at them. They're giving us stuff. And like when you look up at us like we're gods, it just really just gives me a God complex and makes me want to smite you all.
I always wonder when someone...
You like that. Come on, be honest.
I've been a BDM for 5 years, and this is my first event. And I'm like, and they live local. I'm always like... You never
Why?
came to one before,
Yeah.
like all the other ones we did. Like
Not ready.
Never just
not ready for it.
swang by and then.
What about this lady? She lived with him, and he's been listening to the show for, let's say, 10 years, and she's never listened to the show. I find that weird as well.
Nah, there's tons of stuff that I listen to or watch that my husband doesn't.
And does he have stuff that
yeah.
he watches and listens to?
Oh,
That
my wife couldn't tell you the name of one podcast I listen to.
does she listen to any podcast on her own?
No.
She's more of a music gal.
Yep.
Interesting.
Only music. But if you asked her, if you paid her $100 I'll give you $100 for every podcast that's in my phone, I bet you she couldn't name one. Because she'd start naming
of
old
course
ones.
she would name semantics. I mean,
Yeah. Well, the number one. He hasn't loaded number
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I bet
Automatically
you this mother effer isn't even subscribed to a corporate time or
No.
a mediocre
Well,
time.
I
They
had
give
to
us the free
delete them
blank
all.
and
No,
downloads.
because my phone filled up and I had to delete all
Your
of my
phone
podcasts.
filled up.
Yeah.
What kind? What do you got? 12 gig?
No, I got a lot of big
I got
ones.
100. You ain't got a
I
big
got
one.
the biggest phone.
I got a big one.
biggest.
But my emails got too much, and then it said I had
My
God,
emails.
too much.
My emails got too much.
It was like 250.
Delete some emails.
Well, I did. I started going through page by page. I had
Oh my God.
one page at a time. And then my podcasts, I had to delete the whole app. And then
Read
all
your
my
podcast. Read your podcast to us.
Well, now it's not as many as it used
Well,
to
give
be.
us a couple examples.
I'll read mine.
Are they all gambling?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I
They're-
probably won't know any of them either.
No, yeah. I was
I'll
listening
give you
to
mine.
the 3 and Out podcast, The Sporting, Even Money, Colin Cowherd, Dream Preview, Bill Simmons, Deep
Dream
Dive.
preview.
Yeah.
That's a porno one.
No, that's a gambling.
I got some boring one. Want to hear mine? I got Same Brain. I've got A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, Mad Scientist Party Hour, Ride the Lightning, the unofficial Tesla podcast.
What's a Mad Scientist Party Hour?
Mad Scientist Party Hour was a guy that used to be on Ellis. What's his name?
On the skateboarder?
Jason Ellis. Yeah, he was
yeah.
the main comedian on the Jason Ellis show, and then Jason Ellis and Tully from that show fired this guy for no reason. So I subscribed to it when 'cause he was doing this podcast too. So I subscribed to it to listen to the guy, and I'm still subscribed. Tuttle Daily Podcast, The Feed, Semantics, Tiger Belly, Scotch and Good Conversation. Corporate Time, School of Podcasting, Pod News, and Ask the Podcast Coach.
There's a bunch of podcasts. Damn.
I think we've done enough today.
That's all we can do.
Are we at the end?
We're done.
We did it.
We're done. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and breaking news, Samantha, our loyal producer, has a ginormous iguana on her camera right now.
It's a little lizard.
Yeah,
It's a Florida
he's a fat
lizard.
boy. He's a fat boy.
Although it's a darker Florida lizard. I've never.
He's a wizard of color.
Yeah, he is
But
a
no,
lizard of
But
color.
it's not like a
and
the
he's a they
regular
them.
green
He's a
ones.
they them.
I
mean, they are a they them. Sorry, I see. I already screwed it up.
that lizard.
Hold on, I got to give myself a warning for that. Okay.
We saw that lizard run in last week.
Yeah,
and then it's been.
and it
in
got
here.
under the couch, and then it stayed on the couch, and then it crapped all over the couch. I cleaned the couch.
Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't know that lizards, when they poop, they're little black pellets with a tiny little white on it. Almost
Yeah,
like, like birds got a little white in their doo-doo?
Yeah.
I don't trust anything that's got white in his doo-doo, but I'll make an exception for this guy. We got to name him. But he's a fat boy. And then he made his way into the studio. You tried to catch him yesterday. Stiff man catch
Wow,
him.
really?
You almost fell on him like a statue falling on top of a lizard.
I was going for the slow approach where I cut my hands because I thought he was weak. Because
he's not weak.
He's
Strong.
dehydrated.
He's thick.
Look at him.
That thing is
He's
dying.
built, no,
He's all muscle.
He's built like Kimbo Slice.
He is,
He's a thick boy. He's
When did
wide in the middle section.
but he's just laying on Sam's camera.
He's
every
taking
time-
a break from all the mosquitoes he ate in our poo-poo room.
When do you see lizards take a break? They are running for their lives
No,
at
they're
all
always
times.
just standing in one spot, like looking around.
Yeah, but they're paranoid. This thing is sitting
That's
there
why it's sitting with
dying.
me.
No,
It's over the Paranoid Corner. Sponsored by Semantics.
Thank you.
you think it's getting some sort of heat from the back of the camera? No,
I
I don't think they're really that hot.
It gets heat, yeah.
I mean,
it does give a lot of heat.
Okay.
I bet you it is. It gives a lot of
He
heat.
was nestled in my email.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of heat.
That thing is
Dude, that thing is
it's a
living.
heating rock.
It's thriving in here, dude.
Well,
It's thriving in here.
We need to release some flies.
Oh, I'll release the flies.
All right.
It smells like a diaper
Stinks
in
in here.
What is
So
that?
the flies will be here soon.
It's not my lizard.
It's the lizard that's dying.
It smells like a diaper. It smells like a diaper genie in here, so I would imagine that the flies are on their way.
Yeah, they are.
The flies are on their
the
way. You want
worst
to do weird
genie, by
job?
the way.
Or we do weird job? All right, here we go. Nah, surprise! I got a new song.
What?
Surprise! I got a new
what?
song. I got a new song.
I was going to run you to get a Diet Coke.
Go ahead. You can get a Diet Coke.
I thought you were going to kill my lizard.
What if he just got up, grabbed it like his grandpa with one hand, and squished its guts?
he's
All
finally
right, we
lost
have a brand new Weird Job Wednesday song. The drought is over. I got inspired. Let's go! Tom wanted to do a bit. Dan said he liked it, but at this time he also thinks it's What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat and tidy, or are you just a fat slob? And you work a weird job. And I am a big fat slob. It's true. Everybody's a slob. There you go.
Wow.
Beautiful brand new one. That's somebody in the chat room says it's the horniest Weird Job Wednesday song we've ever done.
I like it just progressively just always goes to slob.
Yeah, it's just more fun that way. I like the backing vocals on that when I was like, he's just a weird job, he is a fat slob. It's such a fun thing to do. The neighbors think I'm extra crazy.
Oh, man.
On the line with us, is it Elena?
Melinda?
Melinda. Elena, you're on Weird Job Wednesday. What's up?
Hi, this is Elena Melinda.
Yeah. All right. Elena, Melinda. This is a positive.
Confused
This is Melinda.
Tom even more.
Yeah, sorry. This is Melinda. Melinda, what is your strange and weird job?
I am a life coach.
Yes!
Life coach.
Oh, both of these guys need it, trust me.
Man, I love me some life coaching.
So, Melinda,
Yeah.
okay, first, how do you become a life coach?
Well, you got to pass all the tests.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a specialization in relationship coaching and parenting coaching. Just in case you're wondering.
Can I just tell you right now, because I want to get on your good side. I believe in relationship coaching, and I believe in parenting coaching. But you're going to have to work. You have to work a little with me about life coaching. Okay, you have to work with me on that one, because that's the one that I see a lot of people swirling around me that claim to be coaches, and I laugh at them.
Well,
Okay.
But the relationship and parenting coaching, I think, is legit.
That's two areas of my life that I need Bill
coaching.
Belichick.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, Tom Cower. You need a big boy in there.
Yeah. Because currently I'm operating with what's that coach that was the Colts?
You're a Ted Lasso.
No, he's good. I'm
You're Ted Fatso.
Ted Fatso.
I'm a Jeff Story.
Oh yeah, you are the Jeff Story of relationship coaching.
They just put me in,
He's
and
handsome.
I'm like, whoa.
He's handsome.
Anyway, so Melinda, first off, is there any qualification?
Yeah,
for
Bill
becoming...
Cower. Bill Cower. Sorry, Bill Cower.
Okay, so before I tell you, I want to preface this with saying that my journey is different from other people's journey. So I have been a mental health counselor for 20 years.
Okay,
So
that helps.
Yeah. Well, that
counselor.
Yeah, you put in the reps.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you're doing bad at life, Bam Margera, you look at their eyes and you're like, oh mental
man.
health.
Yeah.
Like, mental health seems to be, I would say 99% of it.
Absolutely. So literally anybody can be a life coach. So, Dan, you want to be a Vespa coach, you can do it.
Okay.
Tom, you want to be a gambling coach, you can do it.
He is a gambling coach. He calls it. He makes me call him Coach Gambling.
That's my new Twitter handle.
Gambling coach.
All right, Melinda. So let's start with the parenting.
Okay.
Do you have kids yourself?
I do.
Okay, so
I think that helps.
That definitely helps because
Well, it doesn't have to, but I think to the person that is going to listen to your coaching, it automatically eliminates the one thing that if you didn't have it, they'd be like, well, they just don't have kids. Which you might as well even lie to them and say you have kids just to eliminate that problem. I would, right?
Like
if I were a relationship coach and didn't have kids, I would tell you I have kids, and then we'd say, well, let me see pictures of them. I'd say, well, that's a little too far. Good day.
You know what's interesting?
Right, inappropriate.
Yeah, thank you.
If you make the analogy to player-coach or just coach who's never played, the players, I feel like, respect the player coach, the coach that did play in the league.
Yes, that's true.
More, but probably the coaches that never played had more success and have more success.
Like, I will not respect a big fat Gundy.
No, but I'm saying, like, the coaches who have not formerly been players have actually had better results.
Oh, yeah.
So if you think, if you could put that analogy towards kids.
I've heard that stat, too.
There's a lot of teachers that don't have kids.
Yeah, but that's a little, because teaching doesn't necessarily, like, the skill level of that doesn't really matter if you have kids or not to be a good teacher, I would say,
well,
right?
You're dealing with kids.
You are dealing with it, but being a parent, I feel like it makes sense that you would be better at coaching it if you were a parent yourself, but maybe not.
I might be the weirdo here, but I think that people without kids can be great parents. All I'm saying is just I'm saying that you should eliminate and lie to them and say you have children. Because people are not going to want to ever listen to you if you're like, I don't have kids. I'm just saying it's unfair. Right. It's unfair because I think Samantha says some things that I hear and I go, naturally, I've said this to you before. I'd say naturally, it's too bad you don't want kids because I think you'd be a really responsible, good mom.
So, Melinda, what are first, like when you are a parent coach or a career coach or whatever, how do you even make money doing that?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have to get your name out there, of course, like any business. And, I have my Instagram. I have, word of mouth. When you start getting people in the door, they talk to other people. I mean, it's Tom's mentality of you get one, you can get another, and that's how we do it.
You're stealing my mentality.
Yeah. You can't, he's gonna.
I'm writing a book about that.
It's called the winner's mentality. If one can get you two. The winner's mentality. One can get you two by Thomas Van. What kind of education? What kind of education do you need to do what you're doing? Are there any prerequisites that you need?
20 years of mental.
But I mean, like, do you need a bachelor's and you can do 20 years, or do you have a master's?
No, literally anybody can be a life coach. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have a master's degree in psychology.
See, I think that matters, though. See, if I'm checking the boxes on you as parenting or relationship, you have the bachelor's, you have the master's, and you have children. I'd be like, boom, trifecta.
Yes.
So, Melinda, like, when did you start this? Did someone suggest? Like, are you really good at being a parent and at life and at
Did somebody
your career?
tell you that? And you're like, you know what? I am good.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think so. Yeah, I'd like to think so. I started out when I was a mental health counselor. I did some training in nurturing parenting. And from that point on, that is what we use. That's what we have been using to raise our son. He's 12 now. He's a pretty good kid. All kids have their ups and downs.
Sure.
But overall, he's managed his emotions pretty well. So he's been doing all right. He respects our rules most of the time. I mean, he's 12. So, he does it good. He does a really good job.
Is it you, Tom? I think sometimes when I can listen to anybody, like listening to her right now talk, like without even knowing her background, knowing her education or anything, I'd be like, yeah, of course you're a good parent because you just seem like you're with it. I think I could almost spot a bad parent just if you'd give me one sentence. I think I can profile you enough to know you're a bad parent.
Melinda, I feel like
It's a superpower I have.
anytime I see someone that thinks they're better than me,
Like, dude.
and then are actually better than me, I get mad at it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You get mad at the truth.
And then what do you want to do? What do you want to do about it?
Well, I just want to
wanna push them
scream,
down,
you think
or-
you're better than me. But then I know they
Now,
are.
and what if they said, I do think I'm better than you?
Yeah. Well, like, oh, you are accurate.
And that's the exchange? That's a horrible bully exchange.
So, Melinda, do you find it that sometimes people are like intimidated by that, or like mad at the fact that you are a good parent?
Yeah.
And like get
You
mad
haven't-
at it
yeah,
instead
you-
of want to learn from it.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, especially friends will ask for parenting advice and then not do what I said, and then bad things will happen. I'm like, yeah, exactly, Sam. I know you know the feeling, right?
Yes.
So when the
Yeah, I'm going to
problem
write that
is,
down as a strike for you. What was her name again?
What-
Melinda.
what you're suggesting I do is a lot of work, and then when I look at it, I'm
You're
like,
the coach. You do the work.
and then I'm like, well, I don't want to do all this work, and then I get mad at the situation. It was really just me mad that I don't want to do the work, and then I'm like, oh, well, that's the problem.
Well, let's go to life coaching real quick, because it is the part of what you say you do that I don't fully understand. So what would be the number one thing you think people come to you? When they come to you seeking a life coach, what is the number one thing that they're seeking to wrangle or fix in their lives?
Well, I think mostly it's work-life harmony.
Gotcha.
Managing their stress, setting boundaries with people, being able to even overcome. Maybe they've gone through some trauma, and maybe they're at a point where they want to move forward from that. I like to think of life coaching as like therapy light. So we're not talking about deep depression, severe anxiety, but I am trained to deal with those things. But we don't really work so much with the mental health disorders because there's no diagnosis involved.
Gotcha.
Now, while I can diagnose, I don't in coaching. It's more of like, we're going to work through this together. I'm going to cheer you on to help you reach your goals and, make the best out of what you got.
Gotcha. Now, have you ever had, because Tom and I have talked about this, we've seen this, we've actually kicked around the idea of helping people and even ourselves kind of dip a toe or a toenail into coaching in a way to help people have, like with their podcast. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
But have you ever had anybody that feels like they're not getting the right amount of, I guess, knowledge?
Benefit?
Yeah, because I always worry, and where these things get sticky for me is that when I look at coaches, I'm not sure how I understand how you're able to quantify, not to use Tom's favorite word, but I'm not sure I know how you're able to quantify what I'm even learning from you and doing.
Oh, I figured it out. Melinda, can I answer your question?
Oh, my God.
I like this.
Speak for the woman, Tom.
Because
Mansplainer, Tom.
it just dawned
Let me
on
tell
me.
you
Okay, yeah.
how
Okay.
to be a life coach.
Melinda,
I'm glad we got back to that. He
Yeah.
hasn't been doing this when we have people on, and I'm glad we got back to authentic Tom.
Well, because I'm with you, Daniel, and we've said this before, but then it just dawned on me now that a life coach is no different than a therapist, except for you're asking this, you're talking it out with someone about.
Well, that's what you and I do.
About how to benefit more in your career or be a better parent or whatever. And a therapist, you're talking about how to be a better person, right?
Right.
And so is that kind of it, Melinda? You're just giving advice and you're acting like a therapist for someone to talk out their own problems?
Yes and no. We do want, people to come to their own conclusions, but at the beginning, I always work with whoever I'm working with on setting goals. So from the beginning, we're trying to figure out what's holding you back, what are those stumbling blocks, and what do you want? What do you want out of this? What goals do you want to meet? And then we work toward meeting those goals.
Do you try to get the people to narrow their goals down to something that's attainable? Because, I get a lot of people that email me with goals, and I laugh at their goals. Because I'm like, sorry, I should explain.
Your goals are unrealistic.
I should have explained. I laugh at their goals because there's no way in hell that they're ever able to attain that. In fact, it makes me feel sad because now I've realized that they're stupid because their self-awareness, is next to zero. And they literally are my age. They're in their 40s and they have no concept of what they could actually do as a human being. And that, my friends, is absolutely terrifying.
Your goal is to be president of the United States. You're 52 years old.
terrifying.
You
still do it.
Yeah.
Listen.
You went to school in Bithlehem.
My God, you don't even have an AA degree. You don't even vote, and you want to be president?
You don't need a degree.
So when it comes to goals, we try to set them based on what's called SMART goals. So we want them to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-sensitive. So having a long-term goal is great, but you want to really work on what are the steps that I need to take.
Hold on, Tom. You really threw Tom for a loop.
You could have just been realistic. All the other ones.
You could have stopped at realistic.
All we got was realistic. Okay.
Have you ever had a client that you had to fire because you just couldn't deal with them anymore?
Good question.
Not necessarily. I had a couple of clients that I didn't take on because we weren't a good fit. So I had some really interesting conversations. So I offer
Too far gone.
I offer a free 15-minute consultation, and like I had one guy call in and want to talk to me about all his sexual exploits.
Hey.
Wife.
Hey, show me them yams. Hey.
Yeah, I had one that wanted to do sessions. I'm not sure if he wanted to do sessions nude, but at some point he wanted to.
What?
You got my email.
Oh my God!
The
audacity!
I feel like I am able to open up more when I am not held back by textiles.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what he was going for also. And I was like, I don't think this is going to work out.
Was it virtual, or is he laying on your couch?
No, well, all my sessions are virtual, but this was just the phone interview. So I do a 15-minute
He said, I want to do the 15-minute interview nude.
Yeah.
God.
People are just bold.
Well, he was working on his confidence, and he wanted to post pictures of himself nude, and then he's like, are you okay with that? And I said, sure, as long, I'm willing to work with you on whatever you need, as long as, our sessions are not nude. And I never heard back from him again.
Yeah, not a good fit.
He wanted
not
the
a good
sessions
fit.
nude.
But I got to hand the guy,
fit.
that's a pretty solid scam, right? You approach her and you say, hey, I want to work on the confidence to post these pictures on this nude website. Do you mind being my helper? Boy, that is crazy. Hey, it's another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I know what you're thinking. They're still here. We don't believe it either. I mean, we're amazed. Every time I tune in and I hear them play the tapes, because they play the tapes, I'm like, oh, okay, it's still running. It's working.
Although you could just play us on the internet, and then it's less surprising that they're still there because everybody's still there.
Yeah, everybody is still there.
You're just like, still there.
Yeah, digital trash. But hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Do we have anything we need to tell the fine folks that maybe would benefit them in any way?
No.
Okay. Great job.
Hey, do we have any more of that 420 merch? We might as well talk about it since we can't text about it.
I know.
Is anything left?
How can we talk about it on the radio? Doesn't the FCC control that?
I don't know.
420, I've said it.
Yeah, I'd love to give you our number for our texting service, but we lost it. The FCC.
We're getting another one.
They took it away from us.
And it's going to be
420 6969.
Yeah.
Don't steal that.
Yeah.
We do still have rolling trays and grinders on the Tom and Dan merch page.
Yeah,
so.
a rolling tray is not it's not a bar cart. It's just a little tray you put your weed on.
Oh, I'll announce that we got a new watering hole, Wops Hops in Sanford.
Yeah.
Walking distance from the ART&D, literally across the street.
Yeah, literally across the street.
So if you go to Wops Hops, I know Tony dropped off some pint glasses there yesterday.
Yes,
so
he did.
Use that hashtag.
Yep. And if you're in Sanford, stop by Wops Hops. And
what's that hashtag again, Tom?
It's Watering Hole Mo.
All right.
Watering Hole Mo.
Watering Hole Mo. Watering Hole. Oh, watering hole. See? What do we got in here? A couple of watering homos? All right,
I don't know why.
It's a watering homo.
I'm sad that we did that.
Are you sad?
Yeah. Because I can't even say it anymore. Because I get mad at it.
was your idea.
I'm surprised it stuck.
Why didn't you stop me?
I tried.
I'm surprised it stuck.
Then you said I was no fun.
But hey, the hashtag, I was going to call it a hashtag. The hashtag is watering hole Mo. Okay.
right.
Let's jump into emails. If you guys have any questions for the show, anything's on the table. We are the oversharers in this town. Show at TomandDan.com for all emails.
Let's talk about the lizard. So the lizard is still on Sam's camera.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, our fish tank leaked slowly about a month ago, and it flooded the entire studio right before we went on spring break. Okay, so in a matter of 6 hours, we got it cleaned up. We got it.
Man, that would have been bad if it had happened like 6 hours later than it did,
could've.
because you would have been out of town, and
I would have showed up 3 days later.
Yeah. Sam would have been here on a
dead
Wednesday.
fish.
Oh
Stank.
man, and it would have stayed.
Oh yeah.
So
we wouldn't have been able to save it.
We had a saltwater tank.
I would have been panicking.
Yeah, and it was courtesy of our good friends at Top Shelf Aquatics. Love those guys. They did
Yeah, not their fault.
No,
they
did
tried to help us as much as they could.
Let me just give them some love, man. They did so good on us. They did an emergency call to help us out, to get the tank out of here. They helped us with the insurance
They
company.
saved the fish.
They saved the fish. I mean, if you have any saltwater fish needs, Top Shelf Aquatics. We love those guys. But anyway, I think we're going in a different direction because I think we taught ourselves that we are probably not the people to have a saltwater fish tank. Not smart enough.
Yeah.
Not smart enough.
Yeah. So lazy.
So we got all that cleaned up. We've been deciding that we want to get a new pet. We had a gentleman from the from Gatorland reach out and say, "Hey, I can put a gator pit in your corner," and I was like, "That's great." Tom vetoed that. He said, no.
I just said that.
Then I wanted to get a goat. We were going to get a baby goat. Tom said no.
Well, it's gonna die in here.
So then-
I mean, you'll go to jail for neglecting
Cruelty.
I won't
Yeah.
go to jail. They're not getting me alive. But then we noticed that when we were going in and out loading stuff up for our event that we did,
Salty
Sisters, that a lizard, a big fat boy Florida lizard, and he is a jet
Hardy.
Yeah, he is like jet brown.
Yeah. It is.
He was darker, but I think since he started shedding, he's getting a little lighter coat.
And he's a thick boy, and he ran in here, and I first saw him over on our great couch in the lobby, and he was living inside
corner,
the couch, in the corner of the couch, and he stayed there still. He's not a real active dude. He's kind of a bigger, fatter, sedentary dude. And then I did notice that after a couple of days, I saw little white poops everywhere. I cleaned up all his poops, and he has since moved into the studio. Now he's in here with us, and he has taken up residence in Samantha's corner, and he climbed.
He started in my my email basket under my desk because I went to grab some emails, and then he ran across the floor, to which Tom then tried to catch him very terribly.
He was like
he almost fell over like an old man.
Leaning Tower of Pisa fall over.
So stiff. Bend your knees. He went straight over. Poop.
I was
like
going for
action figure.
a slow, and then because I thought it was if I went down slow,
I thought you got stuck.
I thought you forgot what you were doing.
And then when I did do a little lunge at the end, which
you did a slow lunge. Anyway, so he climbed up Samantha's desk. Then he climbed to the top of Samantha's camera, and right now, as he sits, he is directly behind Samantha's camera, and the camera gives off. We have these. We have what do they call Logitech 9C20 or 920Cs or something like that. He gets on the back of them. They put out a little bit of heat, and he puts his little lizard butt right against it, and he just kind of warms himself, and he sits there all day. So now he's been sitting there for like the last 3 days, and now we have a camera lizard, and we got to get him some food because Tom's afraid he's going to die.
Yeah, there's not enough insects in here to support it.
There were.
But then we had Burn Pests come by.
Burn Pests just took them all out. They just came through here.
So then Sam started looking up
larvae and what we can feed
Get some maggots.
lizards.
Yeah, so we're gonna
They like papaya.
Yeah, so Sam found on PetSmart or Chewy.com we could buy black flies.
Yeah, black fly larvae.
A jar of black fly larvae.
How do you feed a wild lizard larvae?
What if I just put one on the edge of my desk and he runs? Yeah, they wiggle around.
They wiggle around. You got to put them in I think you put them in a Mountain Dew cap.
Okay.
And then you put the Mountain Dew cap where he can kind of see him wiggling, because he'll catch that. I think he'll see him wiggling, and that'll be his like, what do you call it, instinct cue
You know-
to know to crawl down and eat the larvae.
You know what's weird is that I've heard, and including our friend Jim Colbert, had a pet squirrel at one time.
Yes.
That he saved, and his wife like nursed back to or nursed into an adult squirrel
Trash
with like a
people
bottle.
love trash animals, and that's we're trash people too. That's
Yeah.
why we have the trash list.
And then
I had a little Grand Canyon squirrel follow me around.
Yeah.
My grandfather had a squirrel in the Everglades that used to come down to eat like peanuts off his shoulder. Like I remember that when I was a kid, and it would jump down on his shoulder and
my
eat a peanut,
God.
and it lived outside.
I bet those airboat slam hogs went crazy for your grandpa. He's got the
Yeah.
squirrel on his shoulder. He's feeding them
What was
nuts.
the squirrel's name?
And those big fat airboat slam hogs love your grandpa.
Swamp hogs.
Swamp hogs, yeah.
Anyway, what was that, Sam?
I said, what was the squirrel's name?
Oh, I don't think he
Oh,
knew.
you
can't say it.
That's
You
too
can't
quick.
say- you
That's
can't
too
say
quick.
the
Yeah. That was it. He never.
I'll tell you, it wasn't named John. It wasn't named Jane Fonda. I'll tell you that.
So-
he was not Fonda Jane.
But
Vietnam joke.
I've never in my entire life heard of anybody catching or having an outside Florida lizard,
Yeah.
like a tiny one, not an iguana, like a regular
No,
standard.
this is but he's fat.
But he's only like 4 inches long.
But he's fat. He's a fat
But
boy.
I've never heard of
Girthy.
anybody making that into a pet. Have you?
Oh my God, Double Dag in our
Has it-
Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. I think he says that up north they have Florida lizards and they sell them for $20 a pop.
Because
Look at
they're
that.
rare, and then they keep them in like
I could see that.
a terrarium or whatever.
Yeah, I could see that.
But have you guys heard of anybody here in Florida? Because they're everywhere.
Tracy says that her friend's daughter catches them and keeps them as pets all the time.
Really?
My
I've
dad,
never heard of it.
when I was a kid, we had one that had infiltrated our house and it would just run around, right? And I think it was the same one, but it very much like this. It had an area that it used to stay in, right? Like a primary area. And I still remember it as a kid. We had a sunken living room with green shag carpet, right? With a raised kitchen. And you would sit in the sunken living room looking up into the kitchen. And over to the left-hand side, we had a door that went out to a little patio and it had a screen door, right? And this lizard that my dad named Henrietta would sit on the top of the door.
See, his dad does name the crazy animals.
Well, I'm crazy like my dad, and we like pee-pee dogs, and we love animals, right? So my dad named it Henrietta, and I swear on my mother and father's life, that lizard stayed with us for a solid 4 or 5 years of just sitting on the thing, and it would run around, and then we'd be sitting there watching Indiana Jones, right?
There's Henrietta.
On our brand new VCR, and my dad would be like, "Oh my God, Henrietta's back! Hey baby, oh my God!"
And is there enough insects in the house for it to eat?
I was convinced as a child, yes, but that may be wrong. It may have been multiple lizards that
Right.
my dad saw, and he just named them
yeah.
all Henrietta. I have no idea what to
Because
tell
they
you.
always end up getting in the door jamb.
Yes,
And then
you
they,
smush them, and then their
No.
skeletons stay there forever. I have one in my garage, and me and Maisie laugh and laugh.
and then they become like hard, flat
Calcified.
pieces of lizard
yeah, they
that
become calcified lizard paper.
you can hold by the tail and like ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
you can break
ding.
'em.
Yeah.
so
So
a lizard sickle.
should we get some sort of environment for this lizard and make
Well,
it
he
our
likes
new?
the camera. He just needs some food.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
but-
he likes what he's doing now, but what you're
Oh,
doing.
maybe we should get him like a little pool.
No, what you guys are doing is what your wife made you do with any fish that you've ever got, and then it dies the next day.
No, we need to put him in some
No.
sort of. That's how to save him.
No.
He's
no.
going to wander out.
No.
Where's he going to get his food?
He hasn't been wandering.
He likes what he's doing. Why are you going to mess with it? You're going to
Gonna
mess
cage
it up.
him up, man?
Well,
Yeah,
we
you're
can't
gonna-
feed it.
Well, I mean, we have to release the flies into. We're going to have to fly this place up.
I'm not
We're going
releasing
to have to release the flies.
Green Mile. Like, barf out some flies.
Why can't we? Do you think? Well, Sam, do you think you'd be able to grab him?
No, I'm not touching
Are you fast enough to grab him?
him. I could probably grab him. I'm not going to.
Well, I was just thinking we put him in the bathroom, and then we just fly it up.
No, come on.
We just-
And then someone goes pee-pee and it jumps on their butt.
You're getting a bee suit.
I'll get a piece. So what do we do?
What, I'm telling you, we have to get some sort
No.
of cage.
No,
and,
between like getting him, we'll smush him and kill him.
No, we can because once we have to order it and then get a heating rock. And
he has a heating rock. It's called the camera, and he loves it.
Yeah, but that's the only way to keep the food in the area. We can't just put mealy bugs or like some maggots on
like
Sam's
mealworms.
desk.
We had like mealworms and
because they'll crawl everywhere. We need to put them all in one place. That's the only way.
You don't think he's getting enough of those? Remember those little worms that would crawl under our door jams and die in the carpet? You don't think he's getting enough of that stuff?
Dude, they're not there. I mean,
they're in here.
It needs to eat every day.
I feel like there's insects crawling all over me now. I feel like
well,
this
he's
place
survived this long. He's got to be eating something.
Yeah, he's been in here for 2 weeks.
He's living off his fat. He's in keto right now.
Oh, yeah. I thought he looked pretty good. Hey, you look at his breath is horrible. It smells like straight meat breath.
I think, there's just not enough to eat. I don't know how much. Look up what a regular
You sound like
Florida...
an old Italian mother. He's got plenty. No. You're like, Manta, eat more, Lisa.
I'm telling you.
Eat more. You look, you have no meat on your bone.
I think most lizards that get trapped in your house end up dying of starvation.
Henrietta didn't. Henrietta lived for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'm telling you, saw the same.
Sam, how long can lizards live in a house?
We looked this up yesterday. It was as long as they're being fed, they could last I think it was 5 to 10 years.
I think Tom thinks that there needs to be like a steady, like a supermarket food in here, and I don't think they need that much. I don't think they require that much.
They have to eat every day, I would imagine.
Do you know that as a fact?
Than a bear. Well, lizards don't look like they're storing much fat.
When lizards in captivity are kept as pets, they can live anywhere between 20 and 50 years.
He's fine. Well, the lizard could be a broad spectrum of species,
anything to not be wrong. I'm just saying, look, he's fine. He's gonna be fine.
Well, no, but look how many times they need to eat a day. I think
most people in the chat room are kind of applying like alligator logic to lizard, and if you apply alligator logic to lizard, alligators don't need to eat every day,
like once a week.
Yeah, or whatever.
But they're eating a big meal once a week.
You will need to feed your lizard 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
Smaller species should eat 2 to 5 small crickets or 2 mealworms each time.
That's a lot.
2 or 3 times. Yeah. There's not.
Kill him. Put him outside.
There's not enough crickets in here a week to. There may be an occasional doo-doo fly, but
I think a cricket's too big for him.
We can give him some snails.
No, a cricket to that guy is comparatively like me eating a jumbo Lazy Moon pizza. If he gets one little mosquito or one little gnat, he's fine.
No, a gnat has no nutrition.
No, you don't know that.
Yeah. A gnat is just a dot of nothing.
I feel like that's all he needs, though.
No. You need something.
Well, we'll keep this up for debate. We'll allow him to stay until he dies.
I've never seen a wild lizard just like go
trained.
back to the camera for heat and it's not scared of it. I went up to it, it's sitting there. I thought it was dead.
Can I ask you a question that I would like for you to try to explain to me?
Yeah.
Why would he choose the same camera when there's like 9 in here he could sit on and they're all the same?
Maybe he probably already released his doo-doo or
he peed all over.
So it's a scent. It's got to be that.
He peed all over your camera, Sam.
That's
fine. Anyway, it's.
I'll have to look for some insects on our lunch break.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to at least put some sort of food for him. Like one little. Can we find it out in the grass?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Go out there. We'll go out there. We'll find like a bull ant. I'll rip its legs off.
Oh my God!
Just
a worm?
tape it and then give it as a sacrifice.
What if we get a worm and we cut it up?
There's a worm out there. I saw a worm yesterday out there. No, you don't need to cut it up. Just put it on the edge and let it wiggle.
You gotta like dangle it in front of him.
I'm telling you, he'll know what to do. He'll know what to do.
Yeah, it's a wild, tough ass lizard.
If he catches it out of his peripherals, like if we had like this Mountain Dew cap right here, if I took this little Mountain Dew cap and somehow we're able to put like little maggots in there or little mealies that would just, but they can't get out, and I set it down in his peripheral vision, I think he'd see it moving and he'd go like, what's that? And then he'd crawl down, and over the course of like the next hour, he'd crawl down and he'd eat.
Can we grow our own maggots?
I think we can.
Sink?
I think we have before.
In the sink.
Yeah. We just put like a little bowl of chili or something.
They quickly turn into flies.
Here's what we'll do. We'll take my salad. We'll take that avocado ranch that's on it. We'll mix that with a ham.
Okay.
Put it in the sink with a little bit of beer on top of it to activate it. And then we'll let it stink over the weekend. And then when we get back, we'll have ham maggots.
Yeah.
Handmade, hand-grown ham maggots. Sorry. And then I'll put them in the mic. I'll put them in the Mountain Dew top.
Yeah.
And I'll bring them in here. I'll set them down. Now, whatever you explain to our guests, when this place smells like a goddamn dead body in here.
Next time Bill Bellamy comes in, he's like, you guys have maggots everywhere.
God damn, it smells like a mortuary in here, y'all. He's like, well, have you met our big fan? Oh, he's dead. He died. Emails.
Yeah, let's do some emails.
Okay.
Emails.
All right. This says, there's no point to this email other than I laughed. Hi, show. I work at Universal and was walking past the Transformers ride this morning when I noticed the operations kid they put out front to greet the guests. He took a sip of his black water bottle. It caught my eye because it looked like he drank from his nose. Moments later, a puff of smoke came out of him. He was vaping in plain sight with a pin behind his water bottle, and all I could think was, well done.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
You showed me the move.
Yeah, I did it for Tom. Here, I'll show you guys the move because I can do it. But, I mean, it's not a bad move. So here we are. I have my standard vaping device. I have a standard Diet Mountain Dew bottle. You just place it behind there like so.
Yeah, hold it with your thumb.
Hold it with
fingers
your thumb.
in the front.
And then when you're out, and then you just...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But what do you do with the vape
You
smoke?
blow it down into your
that's
shirt.
a little obvious.
And then it poofs out of your pockets.
Can you swallow it?
Some of it still comes out, though.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Where I did that at a dance competition.
hurts.
And I'm embarrassed to say this. This is embarrassing. I did it at a dance competition where I walked out to my car and I tooted, right? And then I was walking back in, but I was already a little high, and I was like, I'll just hold it in.
Okay.
And let it go away. So I held it in, and I'm walking, and I'm just letting it go away, and I'm not seeing anything. But then, I felt like it was really in me, and then when I sat down, I went to the moon. It affected me wrong. Like, it affected me poorly.
Yeah.
It was like, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
It was like it was like I'd replaced an actual breath with vape. Mm-hmm. And my body was like, if you can only do that 5 more times.
I feel like if you do that move where you're trying to swat something out of your face, or do 2 quick swats, and while you're blowing it out, it kind of disperses the smoke. And
or it looks like you're trying to get rid of smoke.
Here's the move.
You're making more of a sign of waving your hands around.
No, it's just
everyone's looking at you like, what's wrong with this guy?
A fly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's mealworm. Another one you can do is if you're you go into the stall. Right, of the men's room, but you have to sit down.
Okay.
You have to. If you stand, I know you're vaping. You have to sit down and vape while you're sitting down.
And then act like you're tying your shoe and blow it down.
I don't blow it down. You know what I do? I blow it in there slowly so it's kind of with me, and then I open that door rapid fire. I go, and when I open the door, it's like, whoosh of air comes by.
That's backdraft. That's the backdraft.
I give it the backdraft. Yeah, it whooshes it around.
Yeah. And then you're like, what was that?
Yeah. And then here's another
then you're
one.
surprised.
I've done that before where then the smoke visibly moves towards another patron that's in there washing his hands, and I look at him and I'm like, you smoking weed? You know, I blame it on him.
Yeah.
I blame it on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, millennials.
Yeah. It's like you fart in an elevator and look to the guy next to you.
Oh, by the way, yesterday, update on the smell that we had in the studio. It smelled like a diaper.
Yeah.
I think it was my body odor.
And Tom was trying to blame it on Luca.
I loaded myself down with... Luca's the name of the lizard, by the way.
What?
I loaded myself... I have more deodorant on right now than I've ever worn in my life.
You almost spit out his water.
I sprayed so much on me because he knows that I hate...
So your natural body odor is
No,
diaper?
I've never had that. I have never had the natural body odor of diaper, ma'am.
Yeah, come on.
Ma'am.
Is it... Was you...
Ma'am.
I don't know.
Sweating so much.
Oh, maybe it's your natural body odor and the deodorant mixture makes it smell like diaper.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
it's a type
now.
of deodorant
I'm
mixed
good now.
with your body chemistry.
I'm telling you, it was like the white degree.
No, it was
the
spray.
The
it was the teal can with the teal top.
Yeah. That kind of... Because I used to use that when I was a kid.
Powder fresh.
Yeah.
And that powder fresh smell mixed.
Very
it was bad.
diapery.
It was so diapery.
And you were so sweaty
And then you
yesterday.
guys left, right? So then you guys left. And then I swear to God, as soon as Sam left, I'm sitting here and I'm finishing up. I go in there to finish up. I'm closing everything down. That's when I texted both of you, but I should have put it in the group text, but I didn't think about it. I think I hit you up first. So I'm like, the diaper smell.
Yeah.
And then I told Sam, I was like, it's me. I believe I am. I believe I am the diaper.
That's an odd first time.
And to come from your pit.
Yeah.
It's even more disgusting. If it came from downstairs, I'd be like, okay, it was acceptable, you know? It's just
You got to get your sweating under control. You can get
Those,
Botox.
yeah, I was going to say the Botox injections in your armpits.
No. I'm not smoothing out my pit. I like them wrinkly.
That's got to be bad for you, though, right? Because it's natural to sweat.
No.
Where does it go?
I mean, mine
is clogging up your pores.
But I've cut down on my caffeine. Why am I sweating so much? I've never had this problem. I must be going through. I must have on my period or something.
He's not out in the savannah where he's trying to cool himself with sweating. He's just sitting here in an air-conditioned studio. Like, we can clog up all his pores and he'll be fine. You know, he doesn't need his armpits to sweat so much.
But he sweats in here.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Clog up the pores. It can't be bad for you.
I mean, unlike Tom, I am a high-energy performer.
Today's going to be bad because you're in a black T-shirt and we're going to be out in the sun.
I'm going to take all my clothes off and just wear tidy whities.
Just wear a diaper.
Just wear a diaper.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and we are live from the lawn of the Orlando Science Center here in beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Yep, all to talk about Mess Fest. That's happening May 13th and 14th. And Spencer's here from the Orlando Science Center. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing great. We get to play with a whole bunch of mess stuff.
Yeah, we came on location this time. You normally come and visit us. Now we're on
it's
your
way
turf.
Easier for me this way.
Well, this is a lot better. We never thought about this until like years later. We decided to come visit Spencer and not waste his time.
So right now they're setting up the first demonstration, which is the classic. I don't want to say classic.
This is a classic
of Diet Coke and Mentos.
Right.
So Spencer, tell us what is happening right now.
So, you know, when we are doing this stuff, we have to talk about physical versus chemical changes in science. Right now, we're going to be doing a physical change. Most people think this is like chemistry going on, but actually there's no chemistry really with Diet Coke and Mentos. What's happening is the carbonation, the bubbles, the CO2, it's all getting trapped to these tiny ridges on the Mentos. So as the Mentos falls, these little bubbles are sticking to these ridges and eventually they just burst outwards.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that nothing nothing chemically inside the Mentos is reacting chemically with the Diet Coke. This is all from the shape of the Mentos, the ridges rather, of one Mento.
Exactly. So you could do it with one. We do it with like 3 or 4 just to make it a little bit more dramatic.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, you could theoretically reverse this entire thing.
Did you know that?
I thought it had to do with something Mentos was made of. This is like, like the old...
This is why we're idiots and we need the science center to tell us.
That it was a chemical reaction because Mentos are poison.
Right.
So this would work with any flavor Mentos, or does it have to be a certain flavor?
Are there flavors of Mentos?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
like
Mentos are flavored.
We've tried different sodas, but I've never tried different Mentos. That's a good question.
Okay, let's speak.
You weren't supposed to ask that. I'll cut that out, Spencer. I'm sorry.
Cut.
I'm really sorry.
Everybody uses Coke or Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Does it have to be that?
No, it doesn't have to be. We've tried it with like Sprite and regular Coke. The Diet Coke works best because of the aspartame inside of it, but you could theoretically use any carbonated beverage.
That's what gets your throat, Tom.
Right.
The aspartame.
Yeah.
So we're learning a lot. All right, so...
Okay.
Is he going to pull them all at the
Here
same
we go.
time?
He's going to pull them all at the same time.
excited.
Here we go.
And pulled. All
Here
right.
we go.
There
There
they
goes
go.
a fast. That's just like Viola.
Exactly.
Lake
So we
Coca-Cola.
also, put some longer barrels on there so that it stretches even further in that sky.
So
I never thought to put longer barrels on my Mentos. That is good.
How often do you do this?
Not very often, but I would say in Florida, most people think of putting longer barrels on everything, so I don't know why you didn't
That's
think
true.
about that, right? Like, that is the Florida way.
So Spencer, is it true or not true that if you drank a bunch of Coke or Diet Coke and then swallowed some Mentos like
Right.
a pill, that
it would
be
blow
like,
you up like a seagull.
You projectile foam vomit.
Yeah. Thanks. I thought, and then if you hold it in, the whole hole's going out
comes
the
out
other
the
side.
back.
Or it blows, like your
Or
stomach
blows a
up.
hole in your stomach.
We should call SpaceX and see if we could use this technology,
Exactly.
right?
So what would happen, Spencer?
It's actually, Mentos and Diet Coke is the leading cause of death in the United States, actually.
Spencer,
so it does.
Yeah. You know what that was? That was Spencer flushing her head in the toilet with his words.
Yeah. He's bullying me.
He was bullying
Totally nothing would happen. The Mentos kind of has to fall through the Coke as it's going, and also, the carbonation does not exist the same in your stomach as it does there in the bottle.
Now,
so
I
you'd be
have
totally fine.
seen influencers get into like Rubbermaid bins.
Okay.
And fill the Rubbermaid bins with Coke and then put the Mentos in the bin to see if it happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah. My son did it with he got Easter Mentos for
Easter Mentos?
I'm telling you.
What kind of Easter is your family?
That's terrible.
It's really
like
bad.
a candy, not
No,
Mentos.
yeah,
It was like a gummy bears, a jelly bean,
Chocolate bunny.
Mentos.
Okay, you got
They're kinda
all that too,
egg-shaped.
but there's some Mentos, and it was like a promotion
Old
where they
man
come
went
in
to get some
egg.
Werther's Originals.
Tommy loves Werther's. It's his favorite candy.
I love Werther's too.
He's a little man.
I put it in his lunch the other day, and he came and hugged me. He's like, "Thank you for giving my Werther's."
You're a good American.
Anyway, so he had there was a cup of Diet Coke that I was drinking, and then he's like, "If I put this Easter Mentos in your cup, will it explode?" I'm like, "Let's try it." He put it in there, nothing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "It's Easter Mentos. It has to be the minty one."
It seems like
I
when
know.
it's diluted, or if you're like the surface area is spread out, that you're not going to get the grand
Because the
reaction.
carbonation probably settles.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's both those. I think if your Diet Coke was sitting out, then a lot of that carbonation has just escaped. But for sure, the shape of the Diet Coke nozzle helps get that propulsion upwards, and then the way that we extend the barrel even further gets even higher. But if you have a cup, it's going to kind of like,
You
like
also
it'll
mix
just come out a
water
little
with your
bit.
Diet Coke like a sociopath.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
that
have to
probably.
cut it because I'm drinking too much of it.
What's
Anyway.
the science behind that, Spencer?
I don't have time for that.
Adam necessity.
That's some psychological.
It burns my throat after 10 of them. Anyway,
Maybe don't drink them.
no,
It's
I
not.
have no self-control.
Right.
That's my brain. Anyway, I'm sorry, Spencer. So with the Mentos, is there any other? Is Coke considered the number one soda for this? You said you tried others.
Yeah, it's just kind of like if it has aspartame, it's a little better. It's not that much better, maybe 10-20% better. So really, you could do it with any soda. I think that Diet Coke just kind of has the monopoly on the whole experiment. You know, I don't know how they got that. If they did some like secret guerrilla advertising.
Imagine telling like Old Man Coke, the inventor of Coke, that someone in the future would buy their product just to waste it.
Right. Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would know.
I wonder how back in the day with the cocaine in it, if that would have made it
Oh,
Well, how did you figure?
or
How did
less.
you figure it out to begin with? Like,
Yeah, who decided
Was
to
it an
drop a
accident?
Mentos?
Like, did someone accidentally drop a Mentos?
I mean, it must have been right. Like, who put a Mentos in a Coke and then saw it like release? You know, or those ridges, I guess, which I never knew of. I never knew that it was because of the shape of the Mentos.
Yeah. I didn't either until I started working here.
That's crazy.
All right, so we're going to set up the next demonstration.
Yeah. Well, we're not because we're not that smart.
No. Yeah. And Spencer, do you know what the next one's going to be?
We're going to be doing Foam Splosion next, it looks like,
All
which
right.
is, I think, my favorite, you know? It's
to
gigantic.
I'm going to edit myself in the grass out here.
It's really cool. So that's one of the bigger ones. We get to basically put a whole bunch of liquid nitrogen in a bucket and then a whole bunch of hot soapy water on top of it, and that's the entire part. That's it. That's what we do.
Wait,
That's
is
the whole
this
experiment.
elephant toothpaste?
Did I say elephant? No, it's Foam Splosion.
Foam Splosion.
Foam Splosion.
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
elephant toothpaste? 'Cause
Elephant
that also
toothpaste
sounds like
we're
something I
also
should have to edit
doing.
myself about.
Yeah,
right?
that
Like-
one is it's kind of like a combination between foam and Diet Coke. Honestly,
All right.
yeah, it's a different kind of
By
foamy
the way,
explosion.
these are all things that my daughter is absolutely
I know.
obsessed with. Like, I
Right.
do more freezing of Listerine to make it into slime. I make more slime than any. I know your boys don't
No,
do this.
they
I
have
am
no idea.
constantly finding little cups of just garbage that my daughter
Goo and slime.
yeah, goo,
Messes,
slime.
mess fest.
She loves this kind of stuff.
no, yeah.
So if you got a kid like mine and you love messes, you're going to have to come to Mess Fest.
Oh yeah, my sons still think humans rode dinosaurs. They're trying to tell me that. I'm like,
Right.
Believe what you want.
All right, so we're going to set up the next one and return, right?
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
Boy. And we're back.
Okay, we're at the Science Center, and again, we're promoting Mess Fest coming up May 13th and 14th.
Yeah, man.
This one looks gonna be like it's gonna be extra messy because not only does he have gloves on, but he also has this helmet on with like a face shield.
Well, the helmet's just for May the 4th.
Oh, gotcha.
He's a little
Gotcha.
early.
Right.
So, Foam.
You okay?
Foam Splosion.
The scientist wants to know if he is going to be talking about this on
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
I don't
He's like,
know.
"Are you guys gonna
He's
shut
Oh,
up
no,
asking
no,
us.
I get to talk about it. John, this is my spotlight time.
Okay.
This is not
Oh,
for
the
you.
scientists are fighting.
down here. I'm the phone.
So, Spencer, what are we looking at? What's the liquid nitrogen do?
So, liquid nitrogen, you've probably seen it on YouTube, or if you've come to the Science Center, you've seen it because it's like a hallmark with us. But it's insanely cold liquid, basically. It boils at negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit. So if we're on like the surface of Mars, it's negative 100 degrees, it's still going to boil, right? Like we got to go all the way to Pluto for this
He's
thing to
pouring the
actually
liquid
go
nitrogen
down.
in there.
So that thing is incredibly cold. If you were to touch it, your finger would freeze and snap like a carrot, and it'd be really bad. So we got to be extra safe. Oh yeah,
How
for
many
sure.
people yearly snap their finger like
Actually,
a carrot?
liquid nitrogen is the leading cause of death in the United States.
Yeah, I figured
So-
that.
He's pouring the liquid
My God.
nitrogen into a yellow brute.
I've always wanted one of those yellow brew
I know.
buckets.
That's what they're for.
When people have those, I think they're fancier than me.
It's a science or some sort of experiment. We need to get a yellow brute.
Exactly.
Put that on our list, Sam.
All right. One
Yellow
yellow
brute.
brute.
He's pouring 5 liters of the nitrogen into that yellow brute.
Okay.
He's got boiling hot soapy water is the other ingredient here. So he's going to combine both of these. The extreme temperature difference, like 500 degrees Fahrenheit, between negative 300 and 200 degrees for the boiling
I
water.
mean, it looks a little dangerous.
It's going to just explode. It's going to erupt outwards, and the soap captures the bubbles, and it's going to create like a foamy mess.
So can
Okay.
I buy one of these liquid nitrogen canisters online?
Depot.
Yeah. Oh, you can definitely buy a canister online. They're like $800.
All right.
But you can't get the nitrogen because that's illegal.
really?
So you'd
So,
have like a useless nitrogen. But yeah, it looks like he's going to get it going
Okay,
here.
we go.
So here he goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
The hot soapy water
Oh my
in
God!
the brute.
Oh, he's real. Oh, he's blew him out. Oh my
And
God!
then he just
no.
gets completely covered in
It
it. Yeah.
blew all over the Channel 6
I
camera.
got it. That is one of the best things I've ever seen. That was amazing.
That exploded out.
Holy moly! I thought I was
I
scared
thought
for
we
his life
witnessed,
for a split second. I thought you killed your scientist.
Right.
And you had
Okay.
no
We did not need to
They're
do this.
expendable. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, I'm not joking. It covered all the other media cameramen with soap, and because I was just too lazy to stand in the sun, we
Yeah, we
saved
could've done- we could've
My
done
laziness saved
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Lazy save.
So
He's
So
now
again,
he's dispersing the foam now. So what was the reaction that we witnessed?
It's
there?
literally just the temperature differential, right? It's 500 degrees of difference. It's trying to neutralize itself. That's just going to create a lot of that energy that bursts outwards. And then
So this
Dawn
is just
dish soap
more
just chaps it.
extremes. I think that cameraman lost his GoPro.
Oh, he
Oh, look at that!
Oh,
It's
he
perfect.
froze it. He froze his GoPro.
Yeah, froze it. Still in peace. I'm sure it'll look pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So
just extremes. That's just what we were
Yeah.
doing there. We were
This one-
were going to extremes. We were Billy Joeling.
Yeah, we just got the coldest thing and the hottest thing we could think
Super
of and
cold,
threw them
super
together
hot.
pretty much.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Although I was very scared for your scientist.
I was
'Cause
too.
it went.
He seems fine.
Now I understand why he needed the helmet because
Yeah.
it went all
Right.
over his face.
Sometimes
That
it
was a
sneaks
way-
under the helmet, and that's
a
always
way
fun.
bigger explosion than I
I
expected.
did not expect that.
how
Yeah,
much
that was great.
money in liquid nitrogen did we just explode there?
Oh, we do like that. We
That's
do
a great
like
question. I don't know. I should know.
I mean, more than
not
I'm
in
hoping
the
that my boss
financial
isn't listening to this. I don't.
It's more than $20, right?
It's gotta be like $20. It feels right.
Really?
It's not
Oh,
that
really?
much.
Okay.
Because we
I
buy
mean,
it in bulk. We have like this gigantic 100-liter compressed nitrogen storage thing.
Well,
So
what would happen if we threw that into an even? We need the biggest.
like
We need a
Ebola.
tank of soap.
that'll be
Let's
MassFest
do like
2024.
Yola.
We got you.
Well, that was amazing. Okay, that is worth the price. Now, is there? I mean, and since that's just regular dish soap and everything, that's not really that hard to clean
We
up.
use this to clean the other things that we do pretty much. We'll do the elephant toothpaste, stain the floor, and then we'll clean it with the dish soap afterwards.
makes
so
sense.
it works out perfectly.
So both reactions we just saw had nothing to do with the chemicals mixing with each other. One was the Mentos
Yep.
and the way it's shaped.
the
physically,
shape,
yeah.
The shape and releasing of the carbonation,
And
or
this is
allowing
just-
it to escape to the top.
Yeah, and this is just temperature change.
Yeah, you're nailing it. These are both physical changes. So we're going to do elephant toothpaste later. I'm not sure if we're doing it right next, but that'll be a chemical change, which is a little bit different, but similar result.
Do most people like us that are dumb? Do they have the normal misconception that these things or these reactions are maybe a bit more dangerous than they actually are? Because when you explained both of these, it's funny to think like that last one was literally just temperatures.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right,
it
right.
wasn't like there was some sort of acid mixing with some
chemical
other type of
reaction.
chemical to release a gas or something.
Yeah.
This is literally just temperature on temperature. No different than like when your finger touches, like, you know, when you're touching like a pan and it just goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
burning
much.
off the
burning off the moisture on your fingers.
yeah.
Sort of the same
You
deal.
know, I would consider myself an amateur scientist because
Well, he goes on TikTok, so.
yeah.
because
What
I've
experiments have you been
well,
doing?
I've done, and Daniel's seen this, dry ice bombs and water bottles.
Yes,
So you put
they
dry ice.
blew a hole in my tent.
We do that with the nitrogen,
Yeah,
actually.
about 12 years ago, drunkenly blew a hole in my tent.
Man,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And that's dry ice with some water.
Could have killed me and my fiance at the time.
No. I mean, it does create an explosion, but it's just
The police have
the
showed
pressure.
up. Oh, no, that's just Advent Health. Okay, they're just checking to make sure we're healthy.
So the next experiment, elephant toothpaste. What What is that?
So that one is, like I said, a chemical change. We're basically going to be combining two ingredients together that have an exothermic reaction. You guys know what that was from high school?
Exothermic reaction.
Okay.
Or from TikTok?
Exoskeleton outside.
Yep.
Thermic.
Temperature.
He didn't say thermic. He never said thermic. Thermic is what you're thinking of Mr. Thermic.
Thermic.
Thurman
Thomas.
A temperature.
Buffalo Bills, Thurman Thomas.
Dermatologist.
Outside temperature.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's basically
I
something
knew
that
it.
releases temperature, right?
Scientist.
Okay.
So you got endothermic and exothermic. If it absorbs that temperature or releases it. So we're going to be releasing a bunch of heat. So this one's not dangerous in that it'll do serious damage, but it'll burn you if you touch it afterwards. So we got to make sure we're using gloves.
Yeah.
And then the hydrogen peroxide that we're using to make the exothermic reaction, I made the mistake a couple months ago of touching that with my skin. It was a real bad idea. It turned white and bubbly, and I don't recommend it.
So-
yeah, they say not to, and that's why you don't.
Well, and that's a higher concentration.
Exactly.
Higher
You could buy
concentrated-
hydrogen peroxide just to clean, wounds or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But this is a higher percentage. And if you want to go to like that, Mark Rober style, like gigantic volcano of elephant toothpaste, you have to go to like the nearly illegal 99%.
Yeah.
We don't have that here
I
today.
bought some higher concentration. I have some actually, and
Really?
I don't know where I got it. It was one of those times where I looked in my
Do you know when you bought it?
years ago.
Then it's no longer hydrogen peroxide. Because the thing is, it actually just degrades over time. All we're doing
no
right now
way.
is speeding up the degradation. So hydrogen peroxide is just H2O2. It's just going to turn into water over
Okay.
time. And so if you bought it years ago, you have water in that container now.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm mad at? The marketing department for hydrogen peroxide, because it's been in that scary brown bottle.
Yeah, anything
since
in a brown
the
bottle.
80s.
Yeah, anything in a brown
And-
bottle is scary.
And then
I think
probably
since, like, the
aid in
20s.
not degrading as much, right? Like
Yeah,
a beer.
absolutely. Yep, 100%.
That's probably for light, just like
Yeah.
beer. You put it in a brown bottle because you don't want the light to get to it. Light kills everything good.
Like now,
You guys
when
sound smart today.
My
Well,
sons,
we didn't drink today. So.
my sons are scared of hydrogen peroxide, and every time they see the brown bottle, they're like, "No!" And then
Because it
even
stings a little bit.
Well, it burns when you pour it on cuts.
You
And-
got to tough with
Nah, it just bubbles. It doesn't sting. That's alcohol.
No, it stings.
Nah.
So where did the name elephant toothpaste come from? Is that just something whimsical to put like a kid spin on it?
It's a
Or?
good- it kind of comes back to that Diet Coke and Mentos question, right? Like, who was the first person to ever do this chemistry experiment? They probably just had an elephant nearby, and then they tried to brush their teeth out. I don't know.
You have no idea where elephant toothpaste came from?
I can't know everything.
Okay.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
another
Find it on the
scientist that
internet,
is
Spencer.
we have another scientist that is at the ready.
I think
Okay.
that's Alyssa. She's looking good
Alyssa
to
has
go.
another helmet on.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Okay,
she's
so what-
safe. She has her gloves on.
What's the skinny test tube again?
So right now, that's our catalyst. That is that potassium or sodium today? So we have
Sodium?
sodium iodide as our catalyst. That's going to
well.
speed up the reaction. Right now, the hydrogen peroxide in the flask would degrade. It would take a couple of years. It would turn into water and release a bunch of oxygen. She's going to speed that up. It's going to happen over the course of a few seconds instead. Go for it.
All right.
And the dish soap, again, is going to capture a lot of that offshoot
yeah.
of gas.
Wow! And look how
And
hot that is.
create those foams.
Look at that.
And
Look how hot
exactly,
that
you can
is.
see the literal steam coming off the top. It's hot. You
So-
can't touch
God,
it.
this is so cool, dude. I got to bring Maisie to this. This is all the stuff that she does in my kitchen.
I
What kind
recommend
of
it.
psychopath would brush an elephant's teeth with that?
I mean,
it's
it's
a hot foam.
Have you seen? You know what? I would like to rename this Gary Busey paste. Can we just rename it Busey paste?
I hate that.
Hot Busey paste.
Yeah. So what's the temperature of that now, Spencer?
Hot. That's what I was
Oh,
like.
yeah.
I don't know
Can I-
everything.
Can I put my
Hot,
hand
yeah.
in there?
No,
No,
now
not
you
unless you have
can't.
gloves.
Not now you can't.
I wanted to
It's
run and
not
put my face in
boiling. It's
They-
like it would hurt. You wouldn't fall off.
They have safety people here, so I saw you. You went to take one step, and they're like, "Douse it!"
Security
Oh, no, yeah.
rushes
Don't tase
in.
me, bro.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first thing I wanted to do was run over and play
Jump
in the
it.
foam.
You wanted to jump it.
Yeah.
I'm a foam type of guy. I don't know.
You are.
I did not know that.
He sees foam. He goes, "It's like it's Cancun eyes." He starts running towards it, grabbing everything in his
I've
pack.
never really been to a
Yeah.
proper foam party.
Really?
That's on bucket list.
You've never been to it?
No,
We
it-
should do that for a BDM event.
It passed me
Spencer,
by.
we went to, this guy's crazy. We went to, I officiated Tiffany Martin's wedding.
I didn't
and
go
at her wedding,
to the foam
I took
party.
my daughter at the age of 2. I took my daughter to the foam party, and my daughter could swim, and she swam into the foam, and I lost her.
You just got. I still don't know where she's at.
Lost her in the foam party. All right, she
missing.
popped up eventually.
Ooh, now I got a slingshot going
yeah.
on.
So
Oh my
what's
God!
happening
Why is that
now?
man wearing a slingshot bikini?
This is what we affectionately call our splatapult. It's not like a
Spencer,
catapult
you're
at all.
the coolest job in the world, man.
I know.
Splatapult.
It's
really?
pretty great. It's literally just what it sounds like. We're going to shoot a bunch of splats at a target, pretty much. So we got our test
dope.
dummy, John, over there. He's
Poor
got
John.
his safety on. We're going to see if we can hit that MessFest logo. So for the actual event on the 13th and 14th, kids, adults, whoever can come in. They can launch like a virtual scoreboard thing that we have set up.
Okay, so
This is amazing.
Yeah.
you have I have some of these at home, Spencer. I don't know if you know this, but I have some
Well, you don't
water
have a
balloon-
contraption like that,
No, I
though.
don't. I have a water balloon
And do your
launcher.
boys hold either side?
Yes, yeah. And they're
And then you
weak
launch-
arms.
Yeah, they're noodle arms.
Yeah, they're noodle arms that can't launch it good. But I need to build one of these contraptions.
This one's pretty cool. It can go pretty far.
I like this. Yeah, this is great. All right, he's going to use the
Here we go.
splatapult.
All right.
Oh,
I don't
he's got
think you
some
can
good
hit them.
reach there.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a way
it
too
goes.
far. Or hit the trees.
So we
I
have
love
these
this.
little, I don't know, spiky balls. What do you call those
I
things?
believe
Koosh balls?
I believe they're koosh balls.
Koosh balls. And
Yeah.
we load them up with a bunch of paint so they can have some weight to them.
They
and
look like
we're
that
just trying to paint
octopus.
the wall.
Oh,
They look like that octopus that Dr. Fad invented.
That's exactly what we were aiming for.
The wacky.
Oh,
yeah,
hey.
I got one, man. This guy, good lord, this guy's.
I'd bet this guy $50 he couldn't hit me if I stood over there.
You want to stand over there?
Without
Yeah,
moving?
We will hit you with a splat. I mean, that's not.
Right in the
No,
eyes.
I could dodge it easily. That's the thing. I'm
Honestly,
faster
we
than I look.
pay you if we
You're
just
not
hit
faster
you.
than you look. We learned that this week. He tried to get.
No, I'm trying
A
to.
common lizard.
We
We're
have
not
to tell.
catch-
We have to ask Spencer about our lizard and what we should feed him. You guys have anything here we can feed our lizard? We have a common Florida house
Just
lizard,
an anole, yeah.
and he's been living in there for. No, he's a lizard.
At least 2 weeks.
And I'm stealing this style from Martin Short. No, he's been living in there for like 2 weeks, and he doo-dooed all over our couch. And now he found that the back of Sam's camera is warm, so he puts his belly on it, and he loves it.
He's
And
my best
kind of
friend
thriving
now.
there, and he's been there for 2 days.
Well, we
And
gotta
not
feed it.
eating?
No.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring some bugs.
They,
All right.
That's what I said.
What kind of
where
bugs?
We need like some sort of
do we get-
habitat to
Yeah.
put him in with the bugs.
Just
Yeah,
a little
I want him
bowl,
to
it's
free
fine.
roam and then just let the bugs free roam.
No,
I think it's a good idea.
He'll never get the bugs. He needs a certain amount of bugs.
think
Wow,
there's
you have
enough
no
bugs in there.
confidence in Luca.
Luca?
I've named him Luca.
That's a good name.
All right, so let's do another splat here. I want to see.
He's getting a lot of paint all over his head.
He
Yeah,
really is.
you know, if you're going to come to MessFest, I recommend you don't wear a wedding dress or something. Like, you're
Okay.
going to get covered in paint
Oh!
and crayon and mush and
so close.
slime and
So
all
dress
kinds
for
of
mess.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the whole
There
point.
actually is an internet phenomenon where women will take their wedding dresses and then
Destroy them. Yeah.
in a
My wife
creative
did
This
that.
would be a cool way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So-
actually-
did that, but
yeah.
not with her wedding dress. She did it with a bridesmaid dress of a wedding she was supposed to be the bridesmaid in, and then was
Yikes.
uninvited
Yikes.
to.
Oh,
Okay.
So
wow.
she did that to the.
If that
she-
specific thing happens to you,
Yeah.
feel free to wear the dress. We will
Yeah.
cover it in paint.
I like that.
All right, I'm thinking I go over there.
You're
and
gonna
try
go
to
over there?
dodge
Is this gonna be the grand finale?
Koosh, yeah.
Do you want me to hold your mic
You know,
while
we're,
you dodge?
we're almost out of
Do
time
it. Do
here.
it. Do
It's
it.
okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's going over.
All right.
He's volunteering his tribute.
Yeah. He,
Oh, get it right in the sternum.
Hey, do the watermelon. Do the watermelon from Amazing Race, and let's koosh you right in the eyes. Okay, all right. You forgot the
You
word
forgot
juke.
the word juke, but it's,
He was like, I can't that thing out of the way. All
Zach,
right.
as hard as you can.
Yeah, as hard as you can. I mean, put your ponytail into it, man.
Yeah, like harder. There
Oh,
you go.
wow. Foot on the
yeah,
table.
Hell yeah. Blow his eyeballs out.
Oh, he's dead.
right in the face.
I wish you'd split your pants.
They're too baggy.
I mean, it looks kind of cool, honestly.
Did you fall in an ant pile?
Yeah, why are you guys down me
Quick,
somewhere?
scrape those ants. Scrape those ants in
That
your pocket.
came
We need this
very
for our
close to your
lizard.
face.
That came faster than I thought.
Yeah,
It was
really.
actually slow motion. Like I only reacted after it passed me.
Permission to be real for a second.
yeah.
I am glad you dodged that because I got scared.
I did too.
Or I get in Tracy's car.
You got toxic pain
Missing an eye
mom.
and bleeding.
He authentically went as hard as he could and aimed for the face, too,
All
which
right,
I appreciate.
Let's make this our last one, and we should probably plug MessFest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dress for Mess. Come on out here, May 13th and 14th.
All three.
Bring your families.
Yep. And there's a bunch of different demonstrations.
Yeah,
throughout
it's
the day,
truly
right?
the entire building. Like, there's no better excuse. Like, if you live in Orlando, just come to MessFest. You literally get to come mess someone else's house up and then just walk away. And we have to clean it up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
and it's just
you got me.
It's just
I'll
fun.
be here.
It's big. It's explosive. It's colorful. There's paint. There's all kinds of mess. It's
and
really
if you
awesome.
got a kid like mine that loves crafting and loves experimenting, and like I was kind of like that, I was just a bit more destructive. This is a great place to do it and not be destructive, and they get to see the real science behind it.
Yeah, you
Put a little
learn.
education
Learn
into
while you
it,
play.
and- yeah.
Exactly.
And
A little
just
more
like,
guidance goes a long way.
I feel like this became ultra popular because of YouTube and because of like your daughter making slime and through household products and stuff has become a huge.
There are companies
thing.
now where the TikTok account I'll look at is just a slime company.
Yeah.
And all they do is make, I think there's one called Slime Factory, where all they do is just do experiments to make the stickiest, the gooeyest, the how does it crawl down the wall? Does this one, does it glow in the dark? And I'm just like, good Lord, man, that's all that is just science.
Well, Spencer, thanks so much for showing us everything today. And again, Orlando Science Center Mess Fest, the 13th and 14th. Make sure you're there and bring your kids. It's going to be a good time. All right, we'll be right back.